middle of their defense there in the 305 for the Miami Dolphins. And they're at the bottom right next to them are the Arizona Cardinals. Now, you just took arguably the most talented running back since Saquon Barkley. He is incredibly gifted with the football in his hands. When there's a little bit of space for Jeremiah Love, there is a very high likelihood that he can score. And you saw that with his 9.9% touchdown rate with his time at Notre Dame. I compare him a lot towards TCU running back in the day, 26 years ago, LaDainian Tomlinson for the Horned Frogs, and what he accomplished there. Bengals are playoff locks if Burrow just stays healthy. I'm with you. ICY. Izu. Is it Icy Izu? I'm going to go Icy Izu. Brian Snedden, good to see you on in here. Griffin, how is everybody doing? You cannot be more accurate about the Cincinnati Bengals and the moves that they have made this offseason. If Burrow is healthy, and obviously you need Chase Higgins, Chase Brown, the offensive line to stay healthy to keep protecting him, I'd agree with you. But my man, Icy Izu, make sure that you are following. Good to have you in here on this Thursday morning. We are just getting started, folks, and fired up to go over all this. Appreciate the follow, my guy. And what I'm most excited about next year is to see which team that we're not expecting. Is it the Tennessee Titans? Could it be the Raiders with Kirk Cousins making a run that not a lot of people expect? The Washington Commanders, could they be at a level that they were 2 years ago when Jaden Daniels in Washington made a run to the NFC title game? Denver's overrated, Bobby. I've been talking to a lot of Denver fans, and that's where this one is honestly coming into a little bit, is from their lens. They're viewing this season as Super Bowl or bust. I know there's still that question about whether or not Bo Nix is going to be healthy next year, so I fully understand it. If you think they're overrated, they were in a lot of close games last year. They were just able to sneak out of, you can remember, half a dozen games at the end. Are the Panthers on this list? They absolutely are on this list. They are in playoffs. The great Jim Mora. So they are right there in the see it to believe it category, ICEZU. But Bobby, I'm curious what you want to see out of Denver. What would give you confidence in the Broncos going forward, Bobby, for them to earn the right to be a true Super Bowl or bust team? Because there's a defensive level that they've had the last 2 seasons, especially up front, getting to the quarterback, that has not been matched by anybody, not even the Houston Texans. They've led the NFL in sacks the last 2 years, and with Nick Bonitto's ascension into being one of the top 10 edge defenders in the National Football League, you see the loss of John Franklin Myers being significant, but I don't think it's as significant as a team like the Seattle Seahawks, who wind up losing Boye Mafe. Nobody has any idea what their offense will look like with Waddle. The defense is fine. The defense is absolutely fine. And Connor, Talk Sports, what's going on? Good to see you in here. Appreciate you. No worries, Sammy boy. Look at what we got, though, as per your thoughts, and it honestly makes sense. We didn't get too much pushback on it last night, Sammy, for the Raiders being in the playoffs category. I feel 49ers will be bad very soon due to age. They can get aged very quickly. I absolutely agree with you. There's no hesitation for me that without George Kittle healthy next year, even though they're going to have Mike Evans, they're bringing in the talent on the perimeter and Dejon Stribling, that there could be a lot more difficulties with a schedule that is going to be a heck of a lot tougher this season than what they wound up facing. Not in the AFC West as it stands right now. The Raiders have a lot of work to do. They absolutely do. I'm not saying that the Raiders are going to the playoffs. Smuko 63. What I am saying is that this is a team that has improved a lot. They've got the best tight end in football. Their defense has added really key players at all 3 levels, quite honestly, with Jermod McCoy, the first pick of the 4th round, Nagobi Dean in free agency. They retain Max Crosby. The Texans should be Super Bowl contenders. Look, I've got the Houston Texans going to the Super Bowl right now. They're my prediction for them to come out of the AFC and face the Chargers in the AFC title game. Let's see. Valley Boy A, Gabe Colangi. How you doing? Good to see you, Gabe. Steelers are going to dodge the narrative and win the Super Bowl. I'm delusional. The narrative right now that I have for them is a wild card loss. Will Anderson Jr. showed me what I thought he was coming out of Alabama, where he had 34 and a half sacks in 3 seasons there. I believe the number was somewhere in the 50s, or it was like 61 tackles for loss in his career at Alabama, which is in the top 10 all time. He had the 6th most sacks in history. And Gabe, to your point with the Steelers about you being a delusional Steelers fan, that defense can be as good as anyone if they stay healthy and they have TJ Watt healthy throughout the year, and they have Cam Hayward look like his younger self, and Jack Sawyer has a leap, and there's an improvement there. And offensively, Jeremy Bernard steps into a Jordy Nelson kind of role. I would love to see that. And if you think about it, Gabe, I don't know your football knowledge and extent, but back in the day, Jordy Nelson from the combine was just about a half-inch taller and about 4 pounds heavier, 5 pound heavier version of what Jeremy Bernard is coming out of Alabama. So Jeremy's a little bit quicker. He's got a bit more shifty to him. He's got a bit more run after the catch ability, but very smart guys. The Alabama coaching staff talked about Bernard as a guy that if he wanted to, he could have been in the defensive back room for 3 weeks and been a starter for Alabama. So I'm very excited to see what he will be for Pittsburgh. My guy Gabe, though, Gabe, make sure that you're following Gabe. Good to have you in here. Glad to see after a few days the Broncos. Yeah, Nolan, we got to give him some respect. And like a lot of what this is going to be, like I'm gauging this off of you guys. Like you guys are my response team. Good morning, Ziad. How are you doing? The ability to adapt and see what all of you think and get your feedback, your opinions is something that I absolutely require and mandate from you. And who am I to be if I keep throwing the same list up and there's no changes despite gathering data that shows that maybe something should change? Last year was it for the Bills to win one. I gotta say that I would disagree. I see just Josh Allen's just that kind of talent. But to your point, is there ever going to be a year in the playoffs where there's no Mahomes, there's no Lamar Jackson, there's no Joe Burrow, and there's just a second-year C.J. Stroud? There's a winless in the playoffs, Justin Herbert. Like that was, to your point, their best opportunity without the boogeyman of Mahomes, who's knocked them out of the playoffs 3 of the last 6 years. Burrow didn't one of them, and then obviously Bo Nix, and I think Deshaun Watson was the other one. The 6 playoff losses that Burrow has suffered. Levi FSF, Titans better than the Giants. Look, they're in a category right now where I've got them fringe playoffs ? I would have thought you would say they're better than the Raiders, to be honest with you. Levi, is it Levy or Levi? I'd guess Levi. Do new stadiums improve the team performance? Jamie, they're not going to improve team performance unless the playing surface has an upgrade. And if there's an upgrade in playing surface, that's going to be a positive for the other team, the competition on the other side as well. It's more of an upgrade for ownership because we can have an excuse to raise ticket prices. It is an upgrade for fans, though. You can have nicer, improved facilities. For an example, as a Chicago Bears fan, like Soldier Field's bathrooms actually have gotten nicer. The parking lot is just serviceable. If you're a traditionalist like myself, you love what it is and you don't want to change for 50 years. But if you are someone that likes things a little cleaner and tighter, and if maybe let's say you're a girl that loves football and you want to go to those games, this is what they enjoy, and it's a possible way to add more of them. What's going on, Mason? Good to see you in here. To get more women at football games potentially. Thank you, Mason. What's up? Good to see you. Good morning to you. Where do you think Mahomes will retire? I don't think he's leaving Kansas City for his career. Can you look up the Chiefs Super Bowl winners? Yes, they won in 2019. They beat the 49ers. They won in 2022. They beat the Eagles. And they went back-to-back the next year, beating the San Francisco 49ers once again before they got beat by Philadelphia. There was a Super Bowl loss as well in there to the Tampa Bay Bucks in 2020, and an AFC title loss to the Cincinnati Bengals in 2021 for the Chiefs. Packers ain't making the playoffs from Kyle. Is this based off of Josh Jacobs, or is this your opinion prior? Bo, I don't. Do you think Dallas is super low? Like, are you that I'll rephrase what I was gonna say. Are you so confident right now in Dallas that you believe that these additions, you haven't even seen what it is on the field, the impact of Downs and Malachi Lawrence and Barham, that they just get out there and they start dominating people and they're a true contender? I would love to see it. As a diehard Buckeye fan, I can't wait to see what Downs is. But to me, I got to see what it looks like first. But my man, Bo, make sure you're following Bo. Based off of Jacobs, he's done. He did get released, so I'd say his chances just got about 60% better to be on the field the next year because he did get released. But Kyle, make sure that you're following as a diehard Bears fan. I don't know what you are, Kyle, but I I not on camera can fully go on and into Green Bay about this current situation. But I don't know what team that you follow, but I'm with you. My phone about to die, but it's an honor to run. What's going on? Your phone's already about to die. Oh, it's an honor to run your phone dead here. Go find a charger. Off topic. Don't need to let that thing die, but if need be, you're going down with the ship. I appreciate you, Captain. One of our moderators on YouTube for the day. Off topic retains his position from last evening because he was done dirty. He was muted for, I don't know, what was it, a minute, 2 minutes last night? Unjustifiably. Broncos is Super Bowl contenders in what world? In the world where they have the best cornerback, the best defensive back in the entire NFL, and the one where they just added Jalen Waddles. And it's a great question, though. And for Denver to truly be a team that is competing for a Super Bowl once again next year, you're going to need to see them have tighter performances, not be in such close down to the wire games like they were last year. So I understand that question. I'm just curious for you, Zent. Like, why would you not like what the Denver Broncos are next year? Would you just have them as a playoff lock potentially, or just a contender? KJU, I appreciate you watching. What else do we have? ICE Commanders are interesting next year. I think Leo Chenal is a sneaky bring in. Boye Mafe as well as Sonny Styles. And then they also got Katron Allen, I want to say, in the 5th round. Perfect list from Dylan. Dylan, thank you for that feedback. I'm curious what you like about the list, but Dylan, make sure that you're following Dylan. Thank you for being in here. Aiden Schultz, 12-5. Aiden, that's a bit high based off, and I'm a Bears fan, Aiden. So I appreciate the absolute optimism. I don't know if you're a Bears fan. If you are, make sure that you're following Aiden. I've got the Bears going 11-6 next year, right there with Detroit. Detroit's schedule has them privy to having a really successful year. What makes sense, Straw Hat? What makes sense about the list? Because I'm a Bears fan. I'm curious because I don't think there's any bias. I mean, I got the Detroit Lions up there at number 5. Why do I have any reason to give Detroit that much credit? They're not contenders. Why do you not think so? A lot of individuals have talked about the defensive line, but they have Shamar Turner, who is out all of last year, their 2nd-round pick. Dio Dangbo, their big free agency signing. And honestly, they upgraded in the secondary, losing Byard and Brisker, and now they bring in Thieneman and Bryant. And respectfully to Byard and Brisker, you just got faster and you improved. Yeah, but they aren't bad. I appreciate your opinion, Straw Hat Theo. Make sure that you're following. Thank you. Too Evil to Hope. Were you here last night? Too Evil to Hope? Because I put this on only for about an hour last night before we wrapped up, and then we are turning it in for today. But we're only going to, I think, have this specific rankings today. Watching football has to be the most nerdy thing I've ever heard of. Well, if it is, then I am the nerdiest nerd of all of them. Yeah, I appreciate that sentiment, and I own it. I wear it on my sleeve. Will the Colts ever be good again? Legs feed the wolf. Do you watch college football, Legs? Because AJ Halsey is going to be one heck of a player. I could see him as a day one starter. And do not sleep on Bryce Betcher, the linebacker. Now, maybe he won't start next year, but he's a sleepy kid to become a future captain for Indianapolis if he makes his way up. And then everyone knows they didn't have a first round pick, so their first pick of the draft was the linebacker out of Georgia, CJ Allen. I do think that they have an ability to be really good next year once again if Daniel Jones is healthy. But my man, Legs Feed the Wolf, make sure that you are following. And Straw Hat Theo, make sure you're following. Contenders is insane. I I could understand it because they were just in so many games that were close last year. Levi, do we agree that Jeffrey Simmons the best defensive tackle in the league? I appreciate the sub. Thank you, BWayne8274. Thank you for being on in here, just chatting football. As we get started, it's I guess early afternoon East Coast, and it's in the morning here on the West Coast. Jeffrey Simmons. I think Derek Brown is also right up there. Still believe that I know he's older, but Chris Jones is still very good. Dexter Lawrence obviously had a bit of a regression last year. It, I don't hate that opinion whatsoever. And again, Jeffrey's a little bit older, right? I want to say, I'm going to look it up right now, but I think Jeffrey's 29 years old? Because I remember him there for Tennessee with those Mike Vrabel. Yeah, he's 28. Okay, so 28 years old. So not quite as old as Chris Jones, but honestly, right there in his prime. What about Braden Fisk? What about Poona Ford? What about Kobe Turner? But Braden Fisk is right there in one of the best defensive tackle rotations. I think Jalen Carter or Jordan Davis have just a higher innate raw athleticism than Fisk possesses. Fisk has a very good ability to just shed, push, push, push. A better pass rusher than he gets credit for. I mean, unbelievable guy coming out of Florida State. I don't know if I would go. I would not go top 5, and top 8, even top 10 might be a bit of a fringe for Fisk. He's very good though, and arguably the type of impact as a second rounder that you've had at a first round pick in Jared Verse. One Magic C fan, Pat 1610 incoming. That is, I know they got a tough schedule, but my floor for them, quite honestly, is 8 and 9 for next year. I've watched all of the last, I believe, 21 Super Bowls since I was 4 years old. Eagles contenders if we sign one safety price, but who's it going to be? Like who right now is available? What's my opinion on Max Crosby? He is one of the best edge defenders in football, and I'm not even concerned about his health going forward. And you saw that because he wanted to play with that injury at the end of last year. That just tells you what type of competitor and that it just wasn't as big of a factor as people made it out to be for him. Didn't even enter his mind to not be on the field. But Price, make sure that you are following. I agree with you. Philadelphia, it is their division to lose once again going into next year. For Cooper, I appreciate your honesty there and not being biased. They they've been good for so long, and it just feels like Aaron Rodgers once again. Because you would run into who? Josh Allen. It could be Mahomes. It could be Burrow in Cincinnati. It could be your divisional hate rival in Baltimore. But right as of right now, I don't see Pittsburgh being any worse than 8 and 9 with Rodgers' last year. I love that physical receiving core. But my man Cooper, make sure that you are following Cooper. Appreciate you. It's May. I'm still optimistic about Atlanta, and you should be, Brett. You absolutely have to be. He literally has the accolades stats, Zant. He does. No, he does. I would like to see him play in a competitive series of games this year. Down the stretch, December, a team that's right there in the playoff hunt gets into the playoffs, and we get to see him. Because guys like Chris Jones, players like even Braden Fisk have played in huge environments already. And we've seen Braden Fisk in what is only I want to say 4, 5, 6. He's been in the league. He's played in already a divisional round game, a champ game, a wild card round game for the Rams and the Chiefs. You've seen those guys play in Super Bowls. The Eagles guys have played in Super Bowls. Aiden Arnold, take the Chargers lower. What do you not like about the Chargers? I'm curious about that. What, Justin Herbert? What, he's too talented for you? I know he's 0-3 in the playoffs. Being a little bit sarcastic. Aiden, make sure you are following. Jackson Haynes, do you think CJ Stroud will perform this year with a overhauled O-line and reliable backfield? It's not exactly certain yet. Keenan Allen, unless you have an update for me, Aiden, I believe Keenan Allen is just a free agent right now that hasn't signed anywhere. Unless you've got an update this morning that I'm not aware of, I still think it's possible that he could come back to LA. It's a little different. Like Mike Evans was immediately sought after. San Francisco got him, went and got him early in free agency. Do you think the Cowboys are making the playoffs? I've got them as 9-8 fringe team next year. For the Cowboys, thoughts on Cedric Gray? I really like him. Underrated player. He doesn't get any consideration to be one of the top guys, and I'd say the half of the league, and he without a doubt should be. And for a second, I thought you were talking about Christian Gray, the cornerback for Notre Dame. And I was like, man, I would have wished they put Leonard Moore on Jeremiah Smith instead of Christian Gray in that national title game 1-on-1. So it took me a second to see that question. I appreciate the question from you, Levi. Do you think the Cowboys are making the playoffs, Caden? Once again, sorry, I'm reading that question again. Commanders are contenders. If Jaden Daniels is healthy and they have that same magic, they could be. Caden, for the Dallas Cowboys to be contenders next year and make the playoffs, you would legitimately just need to see their defense play up to snuff. They just have to have a solid run wall with Williams and Clark and get to the quarterback well enough. Like, Malachi Lawrence doesn't have to have 12 sacks next year. You could have 6.5, and that's decent enough production from your first-round pick to feel good about it, because Downs and what he's going to add to the sense of multiplicity, he can come up on the edge and set it there. He can play in the box as a linebacker. He can play the deep middle at free safety. He can play at nickel and cover any wide receiver, no matter the size, or tight end. You saw him go one-on-one with Tyler Warren, who got so much attention. So I'm feeling very good about what Dallas will be next year. Can you look up? I know who Matthew Stafford is. Ziad, one of the best quarterbacks in football for a few years now since joining the Rams, and looking to end his career with the second Super Bowl title. Gray and Cam Ward going to break out this season with Salah and Dable. I fully trust the coaching. This is Robert Saleh's last go at it, right? And this is Brian Dable's opportunity to get a second crack at a head coaching gig. If he can turn the Tennessee Titans into a playoff team and get Cam Ward playing at a top 10 quarterback in the league level, get him a playoff win in a high caliber matchup, he's going to earn himself a job somewhere else. Could it be at some point in Atlanta or Cleveland or Miami or Arizona or with the New York Jets in 2 years? It's hard to know as of now, but I believe in Brian Dable. He's shown a track record of helping in the first year development for Jackson Dart, and of course with what he did with Josh Allen. Bills go 10-7. No pushback from me here. It's Shy Day. Bo Nix is going to have a breakout season. You can see where I've got them. It's a Shy Day. Make sure you're following It's a Shy Day. Eugene, swap the Titans and the Raiders. So you're believing that they should be a little bit higher. They added Keldrick Falk. They added Anthony Hill Jr. and Carnell Tate with the 4th overall pick in the draft. Colts were at top 5 in the league when everyone on the team was healthy until injuries late. They were 8-2. I had them as the number 1 team in football, Aiden. It's exactly right. Aiden, are you a Colts fan? Just curious about where the allegiances may lie for you. I have the Indianapolis Colts as a, like everybody else, fringe playoff team next year, and it is contingent of them getting to the playoffs and competing for a very tough AFC South title on Daniel Jones. And Jonathan Taylor needs to stay healthy as well. And you need to see Josh Downs turn into the number 2 wide receiver we believe he can be. Alec Pierce breakout. Now Josh Downs, he can earn himself a an opportunity to be the number 2 guy there. And do not sleep on Deion Burks, the 7th round pick. I want to say he was 20th overall, or he was the 4th to last pick in the draft. Didn't really have a lot of opportunities at Oklahoma to shine. Herbert has had one offensive coordinator stay more than 1 year. Greg Roman, and he cooks. Yep. Mike McDaniel, too. A lot like Brian Daboll. You're looking at former head coaches that are looking to earn themselves another opportunity to be the helmsman of an organization in the NFL. And it will start with both of them taking those teams to the next level. For the Titans, I talked about it. It's the divisional round of the playoffs. For the Chargers, it is into Super Bowl contention. It is multiple playoff wins. It is, I would say, back-to-back years of Justin Herbert playing at an MVP level and being, thank you for the share. I appreciate you. And potentially being in the Super Bowl, as I have them going to the AFC title game already this year. You can see a huge ascension from Herbert in year 1. But it all relies on Joe Alton, Rashawn Slater staying healthy. Jay Walsh, Ravens should be lower. So what are you concerned about with them? Is it Marlon Humphrey? Do you think that Derrick Henry's going to fall off a cliff with his freak level of maintaining consistent production? Did you know that Derrick Henry is already top 10 all time in rushing yards and in rushing touchdowns? He is a freak of nature, my man Jay Walsh. But Jay Walsh, make sure you are following. Thank you for being in here. Beyond Idiotic, good to have you in here. Thank you for the invite, LabFan42, for getting your guy in the chat. Look, LabFan42, you guys make sure that you're putting your feedback in the comments. Let me have it. What do you disagree with on this list? I want to hear your critiques. I want to get better at doing this, or honestly, hearing your feedback is the way that we're going to have a sentiment. So that way, when the season is here, look, I can speak to the tens of thousands of people that I was talking to in the comments, or it's in the hundreds of thousands at this stage. We've been doing this the last over a month plus, that I can talk about where Titans fans were, where Cardinals fans were, where Miami Dolphins fans were in the dumps going into the next season. The Cardinals and the Dolphins, they're at the bottom in contention for the first overall pick in the 2027 NFL Draft. Good to see you, Hamptons. Welcome back. Bucks will have a fully healthy team and will play a second place schedule. They can be a wild card team, Garrett. I'm going to give you a little bit of pushback, Garrett. I don't see 2 teams coming out of the NFC South. I think it's going to be one team that wins the division with a 10-7 record that rises just above that cream that is the NFC South. It's a bit of sour cream going into this year. It's not quite what you would want to put on your strawberries at the Wimbledon tennis tournament, which it costs like $35, I want to say, to just have a bit of cream and strawberry. It's ridiculous. I haven't been there, but I've heard about it. But Garrett, I'm with you, though. I think that the Bucks have a great opportunity next year. Make sure you are following Garrett. Everybody on YouTube right now, what do we got? I love my Vikings, but if they don't get it together, I don't know if they will make the playoffs. Well, I don't think even if they do get it together, they'll be a playoff team. Derek King Ross, appreciate you watching. Let me know what you're thinking, Derek, on this list so far. Falcons are not good at the New York Giants. We're having an expectation of the Falcons to be one of the bottom 10 teams in the league next year. No, Mike Evans is going to hurt from B. Wayne. So we're not expecting him to play at the same level. I like it. I'd move a couple teams to make it perfect, but it looks good, to be honest, from Spoon So Wavy. Thank you, my man. And make sure that you're following Spoon. I can use that positivity on here. As much as we see, you can always use a little bit to get a boost of of confidence going into this process. It's going to be a long day, folks. We're only in our first 30 minutes. We're going to be on here for another 5.5 hours throughout the day. This is our first block of streaming, and we will have another one in the afternoon and very likely in the evening as well. Thoughts on Titans' new rebrand? I've seen it, and this logo, as I've been told, is a little bit old that I used from tiermaker.com, but I like it. I like the look. Josh, Lamar, or Burrow has yet to win anything. Only one of those guys has played in a Super Bowl. Sammy, Bills, Rams, Super Bowl, sign me up. That was the opener of the season a couple years ago, if I'm not mistaken, in 2022. I'm not mistaken. I know it was. The Rams got blown out. I want to say it was like 30-10. They just got whooped at SoFi to start the 2022 season, and they didn't make the playoffs that year. Alex413, good to see you in here. What do we have on here? Every team will go. Johnny Gunn, it's not impossible. You could see 289 ties. Please give me a win-loss record for the Niners. Bree Reed, I've got the Niners going 10-7. The schedule does get tougher. You know who they play in that division. I could see them. Yeah, Arizona, you should beat twice, but splitting or maybe even losing twice to either Seattle or LA. You're excited for Soldier Field? I don't think they're going to Gary, Indiana. I think that was a little bit of a bluff from Chicago. Jalen doesn't throw one in Super Bowls. Lamar threw it in triple coverage against us at home. Zents. The ability of Joe Burrow versus Josh Allen and Lamar in the biggest of games has been a bit different in the postseason. If you would put Joe Burrow in Josh Allen's situation, he might already have 2 Super Bowls with how clutch this guy has been in the best games. What do we have? Except for the Redskins, they go undefeated. So Johnny Gunn, I believe, is a Commanders fan, and I always loved that logo until they made the switch. Folks, on what do we got here? Ravens, I feel, are a higher tier from Mosane 21, and you've got a reasonable opinion there to feel that they should be higher because you've been the number 3 or higher rushing offense in football for about a decade. It's been 8 seasons in a row. I don't know if you know that statistic Mo's saying, but a lot of that has to do with Derrick Henry, who over the last 8 seasons has over 3,700 more rushing yards than anybody else, over 30 more rushing touchdowns than any other running back the last 8 years in the NFL. He's been incredible. Mo Sane, make sure that you're following. Thank you for being in here. It is believable and it is true. And with Lamar obviously adding his production on the ground, it has been a dominant unit. So we're looking at a Baltimore team that if they just have Marlon Humphrey be 90% of his former self and Kyle Hamilton stay healthy, it was a big loss for them at the end of that game against Pittsburgh, him getting hurt. And I'm excited about Baltimore next year. I've always liked them, even as a Chicago Bears fan. I've had no reason to dislike Baltimore. Not as much stat padding, but he gave no turnovers. I could have sworn 2021 was the Ravens' year, but they got blown out in the divisional rounds by the Titans from Levi. That is correct. They were 14-2 that year, and they or did they? Wait, was that? Were they at Tennessee or was that game at home? I can't recall where that game was, but I think it was at home. And Tennessee just ran the football right through them. I feel like they're going to make a difference this year. I'm with you, Mo Shane. I fully agree. The Texans did improve their O-line, and they brought in another back with Woody Marks in the backfield. So there's a belief now that they are going to be very good. Well, Ziad, congrats on the 2 years till graduation. I got you. Thank you for the follow, Nate DeGoat. I appreciate you. A couple of years to graduation there, Ziad. You're almost there. Keep battling every single day. Keep chugging, and you will get there. Howard, good to see you. Scott, thank you for being in the chat. How are we doing, Nate? Welcome on in. John Adam, if you're still in here, appreciate you checking out the stream. Only about 30 minutes in, folks. We got about another hour and a half to run through all of this. So we're going to be talking here for a lot longer, going through all of the rankings. My day's been good. The day has been good. Nate, there are zero complaints about it, and we're just getting started with the live. As you know, we've been grinding this for, or if you don't know, we've been grinding the last few weeks just with the lives. Titans have had some elite running backs. What is going on? Good to see you with the co underscore 2110. What do you like about this list? What do you not like about it? Gianna's boyfriend. I bet that says. What's going on, Gianna's boyfriend? Bro, Bengals going all the way. We could absolutely see it from Cincinnati. It's been the talk the whole time. Jake Plage. If they are healthy, they will be a team that is competing for a title this year. So Jake Plage, make sure that you're following my guy. Thank you for the positivity around the Cincinnati Bengals. Herbert MVP Trey. That's exactly right. That's what we have for them currently. What do we got? What are your thoughts about Tank Dell coming back? Well, I think that's going to turn the Texans into the deepest receiving core in football. And then you could add in Marlon Klein, who they drafted out of Michigan. There's Schultz, there's Klein. Nico Collins is your number one. You've got a competition. I feel like Jaden Higgins is going to be number two next year, and there's going to be between either Jalen Noel or with Tank Dell for the number three wide receiver spot. And whoever's not will be down there to number four. Trey Akeem Mesidor, Defensive Rookie of the Year. I could see it. I'm not going to say you're wrong. I love this kid, and he's a big part of why I have the Chargers going to the AFC title game in my early predictions. But I don't know if he's going to be on the field enough compared to a guy like Malachi Lawrence. Thank you, Mo Sane. I appreciate you for helping me out with that. Let's see. Chesley Neely, if you're still in the chat, what's going on? Mark B, I got no handicap. I do not play. I don't play golf. Mark B, thank you for being in here. Mark B, make sure you're following. Thanks for showing on in. Ziad, take care. Appreciate you showing up for the stream this morning. Raiders make playoffs. Bree Reed. They're in that playoffs category. They don't have a number one outside weapon currently at wide receiver, so I've got some questions to start on that. I hope the Texans do good. Love their defense from CJ. Look, I don't know. Are you a Texans fan, CJ? I've got them going to the Super Bowl next year. That tells you how high I am on the Houston Texans. Will Anderson Jr. for Defensive Player of the Year. I'm fired up about him. Yeah, Moosane, I agree. 750 plus. But CJ, make sure you're following. You want to hear positive Texans talk? I've been talking as high as anyone on the Houston Texans with the addition of Rutledge. In the running back room, you've got David Montgomery. We are fired up about what they are going to be next year. It is an exciting time to be supporters. Katie McDonald now, the defensive tackle out of Ohio State. We're excited about him. I'm a Chicago Bears fan, Nate. So, as you can tell, there's a lot of enthusiasm for them next season in the contending category. It's well-deserved, but you need to see progress from Caleb. The defensive line has to get pressure on quarterbacks a lot more effectively, and you have to stop the run. And there's question marks surrounding the left tackle position right now about the injury to Ozzie Trapillo and whether or not you can have good play there from Theo Benedict or Braxton Jones. If his ankle is okay, pretty sure he broke it at the Senior Bowl. Who are we talking about there? I kind of remember. Did Nick Singleton? I know Nick Singleton had an injury. I don't know if we're talking about that one, Levi. Mo Sane, make sure that you're following, though, my man. I like them for the very least. AFC champs. Yep. I'm as high as it goes, as it can be. We're fired up about what the AFC is going to be next year. I don't know if we've ever seen this level of parity. Coach Mills, Sean Payton as a coach, and Bo Nix as the quarterback. No such thing as Super Bowl or bust coach. So you are not very high on Bo Nix, it sounds like. I, I mean, Nick Singleton, I wanted to see that guy work out. Yeah, he was an incredible prospect and historical production there for Penn State over the last 4 seasons, and all of that production occurred with competition at the back position, friendly competition. Nick Singleton is a Tennessee Titan, Mo's saying. He is with the Titans. They took him in the fourth round or the fifth round. One of the two there on day 3. Yeah, the Tennessee Titans grabbed him. But who's talking? Oh yeah, Coach Mills. I don't know if you're still in here, Coach. But let me know what you think about. I don't know why there might be bias. Like maybe you were a fan of somebody in the Pac-12. Uh, I watched Katron Allen take over, but they were studs. And Nick Singleton's got more burst. He's faster. He's a bit of the better pass catcher out of the backfield, more of the NFL style. Katron Allen's bigger. He's your third down back. He can be a guy in the red zone, at least at the NFL level. He's going to be a good complement to Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt. Excited about what that Washington offense may be. Of course, Jaden Daniels also in that backfield. True. Yeah, he's more versatile. I mean, he's faster. We expected him to run something similar. Fifth rounder. Okay, gotcha, Mason. I think they were both fifth rounders, right? Allen as well as Singleton, because you had only 2 or 3 backs go in the. You had what? Jadarian Price and Love, and then Kalen Black. I love the energy you have. Thank you, Nate. I appreciate that. Yeah, we're fired up this morning, and about another hour and 20 minutes to go with this stream. So we're gonna try and cover everybody, and also college football. I'm happy to talk college ball if people wanna throw it in there. Mr. Johnny Gunn, Cincinnati play will not be in the Super Bowl. They will be in a rehab. Hopefully not in rehab. If they aren't in the Super Bowl, hopefully they at least were able to stay healthy and had a productive year that culminated in them getting beat by a better team. Washington Jr. too. I'm pretty sure. I thought that Washington Jr. was a fourth rounder. I wanna go on to say. Let's look it up. NFL draft. I believe Mike Washington Jr. went in the fourth to the Raiders. Right? They put him Infinite King 6. Yeah, why not? Exactly right. Exactly right. Positions, running back. So you had Price, Coleman, fourth round, went fourth, and then Mike Washington Jr., the 22nd pick of the fourth round. I'm so happy for my boy Cam Ward. They did right by him this offseason. Mo saying I'm excited about him as well. I only got to see Cam play once in college. I saw him play UCLA and Dante Moore, actually, if you enjoy college football. That was an exciting game. Washington State and UCLA were both ranked. It was like a 13 versus 18 matchup. And that UCLA defense with Leatu Latu, Gabe Murphy, Miles Murphy, they just swarmed Ward the entire day. And they wound up crushing them. If you recall, Cam Ward and the Washington State Cougars went on to play Colorado in a later game in November. They whooped them. There was a couple of pretty cool matchups. I don't talk about hockey, Johnny Gunn. It is all football on this show. That's all we run through. That is it. And we have a really fun time doing it. Coach Mills also think the Pats take a step back. I'm sorry, Coach Mills, if you went into your questions concerning Bo Nix. So I apologize if I didn't get to that. But the Patriots take a step back. I heard Jesus. I see you every single time. What's happening? Or is it Jesus? I always say Jesus. I don't know if you want me to say if the name is Jesus or Jesus, depending on your pronunciation. Because I've been saying Jesus for the last couple weeks. But Coach Mills, I haven't quite seen a response there. How about the Spurs? Is that Game 6 tonight, Logan? Is that what's coming? Is that what's coming with Wembanyama? Who do you think's going to win that, Logan? And Logan, if you're a big football fan, this is the place to be. Make sure that you're following Logan. Thank you for being in here. Daniel, what's up, Daniel? How you doing? I'm doing great. As you can tell, the energy is high. It might be May, but it still means the 2-1. So Oh, Jesus. So I Heart Jesus 2016. There you go. Nick Lyons is in the chat. What is up, Nick? Yeah, Daniel, we're going to be here for over an hour, just going over all of this as we have been the last couple of weeks. And this is one of the best ways for me to gather data, to hear the feelings. Mason has sent over 200 comments in my live now, all time. Thank you so much, Mason, for all of the support that you have shown over the last couple of weeks. Thank you. I really appreciate that. Over 200 comments. That is unbelievable. Hey, we're gonna get to 1,000 without a doubt by the time the season rolls around. I have no question marks about it. Mark my words, the Titans are winning the Super Bowl. He didn't say this year, but at some point they are going to get there. Hobo Shog? Broncos Super Bowl. Oh, on my life from T Loco. Well, you can see we've got a lot of respect for Denver this year. The Chargers are right there, though, with a lot of optimism surrounding the addition of Mike McDaniel, and we'll see if Keenan Allen comes back there to the Chargers. But even if he's not, I still love what that offense is. Marion Hampton, to me, is going to have a massive breakout year. We're talking 1,600 yards. But T Loco 04, make sure you're following Jalen Waddle in Denver. That is going to be one heck. That's going to be one heck of an offense next year. Can't guard me. Bozo is in the chat. So who would you say is the best wide receiver in football after Chase or Jefferson? Can't guard me, Bozo. You'd probably be in a conversation between JSN, CD Lamb, Puka Nakua, but let me know what you think on that one. That's my question for you. Can't guard me, Bozo. Edward.0, Texans down a row. Is he only CJ Stroud hesitancy? Is that why you would have them a little lower, Edward? That's what I've heard a lot of the last couple of weeks around them. Yeah, Puka. I've got Puka at number 2. Yeah, I mean, your concern is warranted around the Texans, and he might not even have to be as I'll rephrase. He doesn't have to be a top 10 quarterback in football because they added Montgomery. They've got Marks back there, and they've added a piece like Rutledge to improve the O-line. But I could see it that they have a struggling season. It's a tough schedule next year. And, man, in that division with Tennessee better, the Colts are tough. The Jaguars, even though I've predicted them to do very well, I could see them as a team that's fringe playoffs for next year, Edward. But appreciate you watching, Edward. Make sure that you're following, my man. Thank you for being in here. And let me know what you're thinking about a couple of other teams. Texans defense, too good to move them down in a poor division. So Coach Mills is high on the Texans. And I believe so. If you're high on the Texans, lower on the Broncos, not high on the Patriots, Coach Mills. That's 3 teams that you've talked about so far. Who do you see coming out of the AFC? Might be Houston. Soccer puts people to sleep. The World Cup, for the one thing for the World Cup, Johnny, that thing is incredible, especially when they get into the elimination stage. I remember watching every game of Argentina. I never watched soccer, but I watched every elimination game of Messi and Argentina last World Cup. That was fun. And now it being in the summer with the lack of activity happening once the World Cup rolls around, I'll probably be watching Argentina, France and Mbappe. The United States probably won't make it out of the group stage, but if they do, that'll be a lot of fun. What do we got? It's a shame that Cleveland, but didn't they last time around? Didn't they get into a first round game like in the group of the round of 16? But do soccer from Come On Baggies. We might do a little bit of World Cup coverage in a couple of weeks. Pretty toss-up, to be honest. All playoff teams, in my opinion. But to be lazy, probably the Ravens or the Bills. So not Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. I'd imagine you're probably a little bit... I don't know. You're probably a little bit... I would say concerned. Let's see, y'all. Probably a little bit concerned on what they are going to be. And the question is about that offensive line. Josh Simmons, when he was on the field last year, he was pretty good. Nate Lambert, TAFRM 12ST. What's up, both of you guys? Good to see you in here. Let me know what you're thinking about the list. Do you think the Commanders could make a playoff run if they get Diggs and Ayuk? I think they don't even need both of those guys to make a playoff run, to be honest with you. And I like both of those additions if they were to make it happen. But look, I like Antonio Williams even more. He's a cheaper product, and he was the guy for Cade Klubnik, and he was. I have said it. That's a huge part of why Clemson struggled when he got hurt. I want to say in that LSU game a year ago. But my man Zeke ZEK 0440, make sure that you're following. Brandon Edwards, thank you for the like and the support. Make sure you're following Brandon. It's great to have you in here. Fins to life, or Fins full life 305. Look, we've been talking about the positive sentiment of Miami and their outlook. If they do poorly this year, we've got cool Miami Hurricanes in the chat. Nicholas, what's up? Look, Jeremiah Smith to the Miami Dolphins. Who signs up for it right now? And it would take a 3-14, 4-13 year, but that's what I've been pushing. That's been my agenda for the Miami fans that have been very down in the dumps about their squad. So that's what I've talked about. That Jeremiah Smith could be a Miami Dolphin next year. Jackson the Goats. Let's see. Guys, I'm having some sort of a network connective issue right now on TikTok. I don't know why. It's lagging a little bit. So Fins full life. Make sure you're following. I'm just gonna hop off in a second. I'll be back in about 30 seconds. Brandon Edwards, also make sure you're following, guys. I'll be back right now in 30 seconds. YouTube's been fine. I don't know why TikTok. It's been a little laggy for me. I'm gonna restart it and we'll be right back. YouTube folks, you guys are just fine. How has everybody been doing? Let's see. No, haven't had any updates or comments on here quite yet. Fins full life, good to see you back. Yes, that is actually better. Immediately see. Yeah, I don't know why. It just was like I wasn't getting all of the updates of like people coming in until they were like a lot later. We're good. Yeah, Johnny Gunn. Appreciate the feedback there. Charles Phelps, Nick Tharling. What's going on, everybody? So Miami, look. Yes, you would love to be participating in a run in the playoffs. That would be incredible. Is it realistic for this year? No, it probably isn't. And I don't know how you feel about it, Fins Full Life. I was thinking about Downs or going with Ruben Bain. You probably, I don't know, if you're in the Miami area, you probably wanted Bain on Miami. Name an NFL player for me to edit. How about, can you do, give me the Cam Chancellor. I've been talking safeties. I want to see a Cam Chancellor edit, Steady for life. Last time Broncos wasn't on the top list. They were not. Giannina. Why do I keep changing the rankings, Giannina? It's impacted by people. To be honest, there was a little bit of a current bribe situation that got the Denver Broncos up to that category. We got a $10 super, and we threw Denver up there to Super Bowl or bust for that category for all of today because we took a bribe. Kenya from James. I got, let's see. Swan Jiku? Is that how you'd pronounce that? What's going on? Good to see you. You probably saw my Joshua Weru or Uar Bernard content. So good to see you in here. How you feel about the Chiefs, Giannina? You kidding me? You're here on TikTok now, Jackals Freudstein. Good to see you here. And Jackals, make sure that you're following on TikTok as well. You know, you're there on YouTube, but make sure that you just hit a quick follow here on TikTok to add in and support your guy. How I feel about the Chiefs is as good as it can be. When you've been to 7 straight AFC titles, and then the next year you don't qualify for the playoffs, I'm just gonna hop off that train and say that they're a bad team going forward. No, I'm still gonna have the benefit of the doubt in the corner of Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes. Paris from Nate to go. What? If this isn't true, Nate, I'm gonna be a little bit. What do we got? Wait, Paris Campbell. Wait, Paris. I thought you said Paris Johnson. Is there info about him? I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if. Yeah, I did see that. Yeah, I did see. I thought you said Paris Johnson. I was. I got you. I was like Paris Johnson with the Arizona Cardinals, but you said Campbell. Yeah, he just in the NFL just wasn't the same player he was with the Buckeyes. I don't like Mahomes, but they got a Super Bowl running back in Walker, support from Swift Ball, and it's all fixed with them. They got to protect Mahomes next year. Why you got the Bengals so low from Cincy Reds? The run game has been bottom 4 in football the last couple of years, and from my experience in college football meeting rooms, the emphasis on how important the run game is has just not rubbed off on me. It's like tattooed onto my left wrist. Run the damn ball and stop the run is how you win football games. I know you could argue the second best quarterback in the National Football League there, but if you can't run the football and protect him with good defense in a run game, then you're going to have questions, right? Time of possession is going to be always lower if you're throwing the ball 40 times a game. And you're going to be in tighter ball games, and you're not going to dominate people from just off the jump in the trenches there. But Cincy Reds, are you an Ohio State fan? I'm curious because I am a diehard Buckeye fan myself. Cincinnati, no chance this year. So I assume that you believe that. What's going on, Lil Jack the Third? How you doing? Good to see you back in here. Cincy Reds, you're an Ohio State fan. I am going to be at the USC game. I believe Oregon. And either I'm going to the game versus the team up north, or I'm going to go see them at Indiana. Also, maybe see them against Iowa. I'm going to try and get to 3 games. I live in Los Angeles, but we'll make our way out there. Falcons to the Super Bowl tier. Andre, if you were on YouTube, that would be potentially possible. It would take a bribe, but I'm not as I definitely wouldn't have them in that category. But I appreciate you being in here, Andre. How are the Eagles not a Super Bowl team? I think you know why. I know that some have called AJ Brown a form of a virus in that locker room for their culture, but I still believe that it could be a loss for them. But Cashton Odom, thank you for the comment. Lil Jack the Third, why the Raiders move up? To be honest with you, a lot of this process is my thoughts, and also I'm just gathering data and information. I want to see what everybody else kind of gives feedback on it. Lets me see the sentiment and the feelings of you guys. You guys kind of run this show during the off season when I come on here and do this, so that's a part of it. I wanted to test the waters, if you will, on the Raiders. But Slacks, Vex Slatch, make sure you're following. Cincy Reds, my diehard Buckeye fan, make sure you're following Cincy Reds. Thank you for supporting the same squad. We're fired up about Jeremiah Smith and the Buckeyes next year. Mason, Texans are definitely a Super Bowl team. We beat LA and the Broncos. Yeah. Wait. The Texans got beat by the Rams last year. The Rams beat the Texans. I think it was 19-14, Mason. Oh, are you talking about? Did they beat the Chargers? Wait, Mason. Yeah, but still, Mason, to your point, they're going to be really good next year. I've got them going to the AFC title game, but I remember that game. They had a chance to beat them late. There was a fumble, but they wound up losing. But my man, Mason, if you like someone that is able to remember a specific thing like that, you like football content, make sure you're following, Mason. I appreciate you being in here. Sorry to put that out there, but I hope at least you can see that there is somewhat of a level of knowledge here that is why we do this. The memory, and you can go look that up. Was it 19-14? I'm actually curious right now. Texans versus Rams. Final score was 14-9. It was 14-9. That's my bad, Mason. It was a 14-9 final score. I got that a little bit mixed up. Lions playoff locks. Look, I've got no reason to have the Lions up there and like there's no bias. I'm a diehard Chicago Bears fan. Why would I put them up there? I just see such potential next year having Kirby Joseph and Brian Branch. We know what they are. What's up, Panthers fan? Good to have you back in here. Brevin, Saints and Raiders should be in see it to believe it categories. You think they should be down a little bit? And we've had them there, Brevin. Right now, this is a little bit of a gathering data, an experiment with these rankings. I've changed up a couple things. You can see the Broncos higher just to see how people feel about what that might look like. If we have the same thing every time, obviously we're not taking feedback the way that maybe we should, and making it more interactive with you folks. And I'm just trying to make this more fun and engaging for everybody. So, Brevin, make sure you're following. Bro, Sif, Vikings should be up with the Steelers. O'Connell doesn't have losing seasons. Well, we'll see what they look like with Kyler. I've got my reservations about Kyler Murray with no playoff wins to his credit. They were 6-2 in 2020 and fell off. Niagara Falls and plummeted into the deep there. They finished 8-8, and the Chicago Bears at 8-8 got in the playoffs. I remember that year. But Broseph, I got a lot of faith in Kevin O'Connell, and still the best receiver in the NFC for right now, Broseph. Don't forget about the Bengals. Sometimes I think from Loudy, you absolutely can't. With Burrow healthy, they're as good as anybody. But Broseph, Loudy, Olive Hair, make sure you're following Queso Fish. Who can the Raiders get for wide receiver? Queso Fish. They can get Jeremiah Smith if they're bad enough this year. And that's been what I've been thinking about. How about Jeremiah Smith and Fernando Mendoza in 2027 for the Raiders? That's where my head's been at. And if not, let's say they win 7 games. Maybe they're in the running for Cam Coleman on the outside in the perimeter. That's who I would go with in the future. That's who I think could turn them into a playoff team in 2027. So my man, Queso Fish, make sure you're following. I Heart Jesus, good to see you in the chat. Ravens and contenders over Bengals from Andy. I don't know if you're still in here, but that is exactly what we currently have. Look, you've got one team that's been bottom 4 in rushing for 4 years, and you've got one team that's been top 3 in rushing for half a decade in the Ravens. That is a big part of why we have that. There's consistency on the ground for Baltimore, but then you'd be like, well, the Bengals have been in a Super Bowl. As much you want to talk about that stat, it's Joe Burrow's just simply better than Lamar in big games. But my guy Andy, make sure that you are following. Mad Bod Money. You put both my favorite teams on the very bottom. Are you a Cardinals and a Dolphins fan? What's up, Johnny Gunn? Good to see ya. Hope you had a good time rumbling around and scrolling on TikTok. What do we have? I also think the Titans could be underrated from Brevin. Yeah, I mean, they are underrated from this perspective, right? I've got them in see it to believe it category. But Brevin, I don't know if you've heard me talk about where I had some of their players from the draft rated. Nicholas Singleton was in my top 75. He was in my top 50 before the season started. I thought he might have possibilities to be a first-round pick. And then Penn State fell off of a cliff there. I'd put the Chargers in with the Steelers. Same with the Ravens. Lions I'd bump down. Dallas might be in the contender race. Caleb Downs will be an immediate impact on that defense. So Downs grade is the name. Grade there is that for Caleb? Are you a big Caleb Downs fan? Or is that just a name that you had before Caleb came into the forefront of the college football, now what he could be the NFL world? But I agree with you. Last name is Downs too. That makes sense. Well, that is a great name to have. Obviously, looking at one of the more consistent players in the country over the last couple of seasons. Now we're looking to see him do it at the highest level. I have no doubts about him being really good next year. Caleb Williams is a top 6 quarterback from British and USA. Are you a Bears fan, or are you just giving respect to our guy? As a diehard Bears fan, thank you, British, for the respect for our starting quarterback. I'm fired up about him. My guy, British and USA, make sure that you are following. Thank you for your positivity and your optimism surrounding the Chicago Bears starter. Jordan Love better from Jay. Well, look, Matthew Golden's got to take a step. There's no doubt about it. And Zip Maniac Cowboys, with this new roster, is on the same field as the Steelers. You think first round exit Zip Maniac? That actually, I'll consider that one. That's not a bad take at all with what they've been in playoff games. You can remember Aaron Rodgers ripping the heart out of Cowboys fans. You can remember Dak not getting the spike off against San Francisco. Another playoff loss to San Francisco. Hudson Breaks Basketball. What's up? How you doing? Based on how many primetime games the Steelers got, safe to say the NFL knew Aaron Rodgers was finna retire before it announced. Yeah, they were like, all right, this is the farewell tour. We're going to put him in primetime. So the NFL better hope, better pray that Aaron and the Steelers are good this year. Otherwise, like Black Friday against the Broncos, if let's say the Steelers are at that point like 3-6, that's gonna be too bad to watch them go up against them. Burden better than Golden. I don't hate it, Mason. See Eagles only winning 9 games once AJ leaves, British. I've had them potentially coming back down to a mean here in the division that has improved. Washington got better. Well, they're just simply going to be better with a healthy Jaden. And they added Katron Allen, who's an underrated 5th-round pick acquisition. Thank you for Mason for telling me Allen was in the 5th. The addition of Antonio Williams for Washington, and then for Dallas, we've talked about what they have now. I agree with you, British in the USA. Where are you born and raised in Britain? I'm looking at the description right now. Currently living in the United States. Well, you are in the exact right place if you are a college football or NFL fan, my guy, British in the USA. Great to have you in here amongst all of us Americans just chatting ball. It's what we've been doing every day, my guy, British in the USA. And Aiden Moreno, British USA, guys. Make sure you're following here, Aiden. Top. So you had probably top secondary in the league. Yeah, I would agree, honestly. They also have a great defense with better depth than last year. I like what you're putting in there. Don't think the Bucks have any chance of going positive. So you're saying that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are going to struggle next year in a bad division. I'm a little bit surprised. I'm not gonna lie. I'm surprised that Tampa. But look, you could be a fan of another South team, and look, I've got Tampa Bay as a team that could be 7-10 next year without hesitation. So, Mark, perfect ranking for the Steelers. Thank you, Mark. It just makes sense. They are the ultimate high floor, low ceiling team. Mark Vanderland, Slaxo, LOS, and Devin1157. All you guys, make sure that you are following, folks. We are trying to get to 4,300 on TikTok this day. So the goal is to get to there. And you guys can all make that happen by hitting that follow. Thank you for the follow, Slaxo. Thank you for the follow, Mark. I appreciate the support. Cowboys Super Bowl contenders. It's our year. Woo! From Money WXGJYP3. Look, if that defensive run wall with Quentin Williams and Kenny Clark comes together, Swaggy P3, I've got no reason to doubt you. I have no reason to say that it can't happen. And I've only seen Caleb Downs miss 3 tackles in his career. So that tells you everything you need to know about the way I feel about Dallas. If the offense just retains 5%, of what they were a year ago, if they're only 95% of their offense, a top 8 unit in the league, and they're in the top half, this could be a team that competes right away next season, Swaggy P3. Make sure you're following Swaggy P3. Steeler fan, good to see you in here. Make sure that you are following my man, Motivated Dio, Defensive Player of the Year, Nate VVS. That's what we're looking at. Thank you for the follow, Swaggy P3. Appreciate you supporting my guy. Although the NFL are starting to play more games in the UK, yeah, they're moving things overseas. I just hope they don't use more divisional games. I'm a Rams season ticket holder, and they moved the biggest Rams game of the year against the Niners. They still are a bigger rival to the Rams than the Seahawks are, at least for right now. If things happen again next year, that might change. But that game being in Australia, a lot of Rams fans are quite upset. I like that take. Defense just got to get it together. It's true. And the division, you're not going to see as dominant of Philadelphia as what they've been. They've lost a lot of talent, and they're going to continue to lose so because they've just drafted so darn well. So if you're trying to keep all of those guys, like you simply have to pick and choose which ones in order to retain that roster. They can't just be who they were, which is this dominant team with all that young talent from the SEC. Man, the Ravens had one bad season. They sleeping on us. We got them as a contender. I got them as a contender. I'm a god too. And Cam, Panthers should be in a loss in the wild card round. So I've heard Cowboys, Panthers, Steelers should all be lost in wild card round. I'll think about it. That's an interesting thought. I'm a god too, and Cam, both of you guys, make sure that you're following, folks. DD, the Cowboys should be Super Bowl contenders depending on how good Caleb Downs is. DD, if it's all dependent on how good Caleb Downs is, they're going to be in the Super Bowl because I think he's going to be the best safety in the NFL in 3 years. I'm as high as it can be on him. Commanders are a playoff lock dog. Thank you for the follow, Cam. I appreciate you. Commanders as a playoff lock. Obviously, Jaden Daniels needs to be healthy, and you need to see a bit of that regression from Philadelphia, which you could see if you have the absence of an A.J. Brown next year for them. But Rafael Cardoza, I have no disagreements with you. Thank you for the follow, Arthur. I appreciate you. Cam, Cowboys are not. I don't know exactly what that was. Josh Jacobs is out of jail. He is. And then Johnny Gunn says he should be out of the league for what he did. Again, guys, I've been trying to stay away from getting into that conversation too much because I just don't know the details. And simply put, I prefer to not talk about things that I don't know as much about, like many people do. It's better to speak on the subject that you know more of, and you can speak at a high level and be respectful. So I'm going to stay away from that talk, but I will say this. I still think that Green Bay is a really good team, whether or not they have him or they do have him. Jets win it all. Buck alert. Look, one of my best friends is in New York right now. He's a diehard Jets fan, and I've been telling him that this is the most important season that they've had in 15 years since they went to back-to-back AFC titles with Mark Sanchez, Antonio Rodgers, Cromartie, Darrelle Revis, and the gang. And they need to have a bad season so that they can get better with a franchise quarterback. It can turn around in a hurry if they can add a Dante Moore and Arch Manning. And who knows, if the Colts struggle or Green Bay or Dallas has a bad season because they have 3 first-round picks, they could come away with 2 blue chips and be ready to compete in 2027. So Buck alert. Make sure that you're following. Thank you for being in the chat. It's great to see you. And Rafael Cardoza, make sure that you're following my guy. Appreciate all of you. JW17, what are your Super Bowl predictions for next year? Rams over Texans. I am very high on them and the defense that both of them possess. Will Anderson Jr. is my pick to be the Defensive Player of the Year next year. There's just a level of improvement year over year. And look, Nick Caserio was like, yeah, you want $50 million a year? All right, I'll write that. We'll write that check right now for you've got one of the best cornerbacks in football in Stingley. Lassiter's a top 10 guy as well. And offensively, there are question marks about C.J. Stroud, but with an incredible defense like that and an improved run game, the O-line being better, C.J. doesn't even have to play great for them to even get to the title game. From Miles, how are the Texans a playoff lock with Stroud? Modal struggles and Ravens aren't locked. Well, it's a perfect example last year. The Ravens quarterback play obviously did not include Lamar for a few games. They started 1-5, and that was with Lamar on the field, but not being healthy for the first part of the year. Look, I've got more faith in the Texans defense, but I've got the Ravens as a contender. Nuts. Lions got swept by JJ McCarthy and Max Brosmer next year, and it's a good point. But again, that team with a Branch and Joseph healthy in the secondary, they just improved their offensive line with additions like Derek Moore, who you probably maybe if you're a Big Ten fan, know about their nuts. And I love JMO and Amon Ra for them. I'm a Bears fan. I got no reason to put the Lions up high. Come on, bro. The Jets had no interceptions last year. They're not better than us. Who are we talking? You're a Finns fan. The Reverse Flash 02. Reverse Flash. Have you heard about this kid at Ohio State, number 4? He's from Miami. What if he comes to play for Miami next year just because the Dolphins have struggled? I've told every Dolphins fan the same thing, and I'm going to continue to do so because he can provide generational talent abilities to Miami for the next 15 years as long as they are bad for just 1 year, the Reverse Flash. But Miles, the Reverse Flash 02, Nuts, JW17, make sure that you are following. I appreciate all you guys. 49ers playoffs from Hayden. I don't hate it. Good to see you back in here, Hayden. You'll see it from the Titans and Nash. Hayden, Nash, make sure that you guys are following. Appreciate you being in here. I agree with you, Hayden. The 49ers will be in the playoffs. Just a little bit of a question currently. And we've got them as playoff locks, right? Like we're fired up about what they are going to be next year. They've been fantastic. So, what do we got? What's going on, Alicia? Good to see you back. Jets should be included at first overall too, from gain to maintain. Yeah, so in competition for the first overall pick, we could put them there and see how it goes. I don't hate that potentially. We are going for the Lombardi from Dolphins analyst Cooper. What are the Raiders doing up that high? I mean, the amount of quantity I've heard about the Raiders for the last couple of weeks of people begging me to at least give them like maybe a playoff chance has had me in there. Let's see how it rolls. So that is not good news for the Raiders fans that have been trying to get me to move them up. I'll say that. I've had my hesitations, and now I have even more about having them in that ranking. Ducky, Commanders playoff lock and Eagles maybe playoffs. Are you a big Ducks fan? Oregon Ducks? I got them winning the Natty next year. Zion, how are the Raiders higher than the Browns? They're going to have a better offense and defense. Better than the Browns. I just talked about it, and we got bribed. We got bribed somewhat for that decision. I believe tomorrow we are probably going to move them back down based off of once again a little bit more feedback on where they currently are. But currently, I am operating as a South American country in some capacities with the way that these rankings do operate at times. And so the Raiders, though, I've had some consideration to put them there respectfully to our folks down south. I'm in California, so I also am 25% Mexican too. I don't know if people obviously would ever see that, but Steelers category is funny from Y Judes. But that is why, if that answers your question, my guy, that's why I put him there. Liam, I am streaming for about another hour right now. We're going to get to a couple of short videos. Going to have to work out. We've been swimming a lot lately. Going to get a stretch in and a couple of shorts to get posted. So we'll be here maybe for about another hour, maybe an hour and a half in the stream if the stream is going well. So far, we have picked up 24 followers. Folks, thank you so much for all of the support here. Johnny Gunn, 25%. Hey, take it easy, Johnny Gunn. Don't be alerting nobody to that. Don't be. That's good stuff. Houston Bulls. Sohail Khan, the Houston Bulls. What are we? I don't get the reference there, but Liam, thank you for the repost, my guy. Ravens flock. What did you say? The streamer is high on the Ravens. Much respect. We absolutely are, Ravens flock. We are fired up. Oh, ZCJ Zuniga. Thank you for the goat. I appreciate you, my man. I appreciate the love. It's been fun seeing you in here, and every time you've been very generous. Thank you so much, and thank you for the follow. I appreciate you Johnston. Thank you very much. Malikta, the Seahawks ain't Super Bowl or bust. They just won, but I agree with the Rams. I've been hearing about this. Is it Malik? Duh. Put the Bears in Super Bowl power rankings, King Eric. As a diehard Bears fan, I absolutely wish I could, but I got to see what Caleb's looks like early in the season next year, how the defensive line is playing. Is there still an offensive line that can protect and establish a run game? Now, there's a couple of questions with Chicago for next year that, as a Bears fan, if I put them any higher, I think it'd honestly just be too much bias as of right now. Playoffs? You talking playoffs? Can't even win a game. Hussein Amir, that's exactly it. You're right on. Broncos not Super Bowl or bust. Too much hype. I know what you're saying there. Look, Jalen Waddle added there has me fired up about them, and they've led the league in sacks the last 2 years. Caleb Schultz, 3591. What is going on? What did Cry Season do, Alicia? What happened there? What happened to the conf? Why did he get muted? I didn't see what happened, Alicia. Packers should worry about the legal problems. Hot take: Patriots miss playoffs next year from Marik Man 1215. I don't even think it's a hot take. If we just see Drake May regress a little bit, they could have some struggles next year. Cold Truth 4961. Broncos will be lucky if they win 11 games. Man, we're on that. He said Packers should be in Super Bowl. Did he actually say that, Alicia? We can't be muting people for that comment. Only if honestly that's we can't be doing that. The role of moderator is if someone's spamming and I'm not looking at the chat, like to stop them from putting those comments in, and like if there's just an egregious stuff that they're putting in the chat that I can't did he put, I know as a diehard Bears fan, but like we can't I don't know if it is actually what he put, but we can't be doing that. That's people that need to have their opinions heard there, Alicia. Blitz, leave Alicia alone. She knows what to do. From King Eric, it's just what we're trying to some way, somehow not be that guy amongst the Packers community. It's already tough enough to get Packers fans to get in this community because I love interacting with people that disagree with me. That's just been one of the things about me. It's like I welcome disagreement, critiques, and so that's why I want more Green Bay Packer fans in here, even as a diehard Chicago Bears fan. But Cry Season, I see that you're taking it. You're taking it fine. Alicia's just all about the Chicago Bears, and that's. I almost got in a fight on a cruise after the Bears beat the Packers for the first time. I love it. Then I'll drop a follow. I follow Jay Love, Caleb Williams. Look, Jacob, I appreciate you. Jeff's party. New York Jets are winning the Super Bowl. Our guy Jeffs is always adding in the best thing. Thank you so much for the super chat, Jeffy. I appreciate you. Thank you for the love. Once again, it's awesome to have somebody with enthusiasm to bring in. It's funny. One of your takes could hit, Jeff. One of those takes could hit. What did King Eric fight any Packers fan for you? The Saints need to be in losses in the wild card round. Bo Henry, they absolutely could get there. I'm fired up about what they're going to be this year. Lions over Eagles, Bray boy. We do have them in that. Look, Bray boy. I have no bias here. I don't. You probably know I'm a diehard Chicago Bears fan. I have no reason whatsoever to support Detroit. I just see the vision of their schedule, which is a lot easier than what Philadelphia is working with, and their division, although it's a lot tougher, I am looking at a compressed NFC East right now that has the Commanders, the Cowboys, and the Giants all improving currently. Echoes Park, do you think college football is better? If you think that's how it is, what's going on, Nico Collins? Great to have you in here. I appreciate you coming on. It's a great Thursday morning. But my guy Braze Boy, make sure that you're following. Thank you for the pushback on that one. It's a great thought exercise to go about it. Imagine a Jets vs. Cardinals Super Bowl, Trevor. Maybe in a few years, Trevor. Dom Julio, who has the best chance to win their division? The best chance of anyone to win their division. I know this might sound like an absurd take, but I'm going to go with the Detroit Lions simply because of the schedule that they have. I know it's a crazy tough division, but my hot take is the Detroit Lions next year. Dom Julio, Trevor, make sure that you're following, guys. Thank you for the questions and the engagement. This is awesome to see so many questions just thrown up on in here. Why are you hating? Because I'm a diehard Packers fan from Cry Season. Cry Season, this is a fascinating year coming up next year for Green Bay. I truly don't know what to expect in Micah if he's back, or Kraft, or Devontae Wyatt. And Caleb, taking off. I will see you, even if they're in my family. So we'll see what happens. I think the Bears and the Packers are in for a continued just build every year. This division just continues to have a rivalry that has these guys butting heads in massive games. I think at some point they're going to meet in an NFC title game once again, like they did in 2010. I agree with Christian. Move the Saints up. That's too much right now from New Orleans. Like, to say they're going to be in the wild card round above the Carolina Panthers for me right now, that's just a little bit too high. Caleb, we'll see you back here a little bit later. Why the Falcons not in the playoffs anymore? We're feeling it out. I got to tell you right now, the public sentiment on Atlanta Falcons got banned currently. Like, I haven't seen almost any comments that have been like, oh, Atlanta shouldn't be in that category. Like, people are a lot higher on New Orleans, and I think it's because of the quarterback situation. People are really high on Tyler Shuck and that offense for next year. But again, Atlanta's still a lot more talented, so it's interesting. They absolutely do. They got the brothers at corner, the Terrells, Avion, and look, there's nobody that was a bigger supporter of Xavier Watts. I was saying that he should have been one of the first 40 picks in the draft, and they got him, at 96 last year, and he immediately has, 5 interceptions a year ago. I love Atlanta's makeup of everywhere but quarterback. Can we start a chant? 1968, the Jets. Super Bowl III champs, and I don't think they've been to a Super Bowl since. What do we got? Coach Mills, do you think 3 NFC North teams? Is that the question, Coach Mills? I think that you're going to see 3 teams from the North or 3 teams from the West. From Liam, Dolphins too high. Jets are contenders. John Marino, David Knows Ball, Mason. Make sure that you're following Mason. Cowboys are higher post-draft. This is a post-draft ranking, just so that you do know of what we got right now. Chargers are in playoff locks. Mac, I've got them going to the AFC title game. We're very high on them. I'm a Bears fan. I do think they are contenders. The Bears are. Are you a Bears fan, or do you just know ball? I am a diehard Bears fan, 80. I don't know if you've been in here, Mr. Mullet, but I'm a diehard Bears fan. Can't be a bigger Bears fan than I am. Now, I am a different sort of fan because I've talked about how I respect people's opinions, right? And I I'm trying to build a national community here of fans from all teams, college and the NFL. And I try to be as unbiased as I can be. So if I gotta have Packer fans following my channel because that's what it takes, then we're gonna go that route because we're trying to. It's pronounced Aiden. Well, that's a lot easier to say, Aiden. If you're not subscribed, please make sure to do so. What I'm trying to say here is, look, we're gonna support the Bears, but it's not going to be Bears focused unless obviously we are doing a Chicago Bears preview and breakdown. Why are the Lions over the Packers and the Bears? Well, their schedule. It's that simple. What's going on, Callie? How you doing? What's the latest here? I gotta honestly tell you, I've said it throughout it. I don't think Josh Jacobs, whether he's playing a single game or he's not, is gonna honestly make the difference. I'm a lot more interested in what does Tucker Kraft look like? What does Micah Parsons look like next year? That's what I'm having questions about. Matthew Golden, even bigger than Josh Jacobs. Does he take the leap into being a number one? No, Lions, can we switch schedule? Thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate that. Is that a Mexico hat you have on? It. I gotta be honest with you. It's not. This is a Travis Matthews hat. But Salvador's. I was talking about this earlier. I'm actually a quarter Mexican. I am 25%. I was talking about this earlier. My cousin Alejandro is a guitar player in Mexico City, and I don't know. I don't look like it, but and despite taking a lot of years of Spanish class, I don't speak it very well, but it still is in the blood. My late uncle was from there. Y'all need to find a way to stop Brock Purdy. What was it about Brock Purdy last year that gave this dude the gumption to just start dancing? I knew I liked point 25 of you, Callie GB Packer. That's exactly right, my man. I don't know if you're subscribed. But if you aren't, please make sure to do so. You got 20 people in here, bro. Why can't you read? Justin, I'm also looking at a chat of YouTube. I'm going back and forth. I'm sorry about it, Justin. What was I look Mexican, Rick? Um there we go. There we go. Make sure you're following, Rick. I appreciate it. I don't think the Raiders are making the playoffs. They're in that category that I would be saying I think 26 teams. Why aren't the Eagles playoff locks, Justin? There we go. We're getting to your question. No, no, there's not your fault, Justin. I'm just going back and forth between the chats right now. So if I don't get to them as quickly, I apologize. But look, the NFC East is getting more compressed. The Eagles overall, like let's say they've been a 93 overall the last couple of years in a Madden ranking, like they're a 90 or a 91 right now after losing Blankenship, after if they lose AJ Brown. This is going to be a team that doesn't have the ability to hoard talent because now you have to pay Jordan Davis. You got to pay Jalen Carter coming up. You're paying Devontae Smith. You're having to pay Saquon what he's owed. So that's a large part of it. And now the Cowboys are improving. And now the Commanders have a healthy Jaden. So, Justin, that is a large part of it. But thank you, Justin, for your patience, and glad we got to it. My man, Jason, make sure you're following. Panthers are, without a doubt, they should have beat the Rams. If they just had a J.C. Horn healthy Talon, they beat the Rams. My man, Jason, make sure you're following. And Talon, Josh Kuba? How are we comparing the Falcons to the Browns, Titans, and the Jets? It's an experiment right now, Josh. I got to tell you. It's simply an experiment to see what the feedback sentiment is. And you're actually one of the first people that has given pushback on that list. My top 5 defensive players in the league right now are Myles Garrett, Will Anderson Jr., Pat Surtain, Micah Parsons, and I would probably still have to roll with our guy Fred Warner at linebacker, even after the injury. I'd probably still put him at number 5. Those are my top 5. Nick Benito from Little. Yeah, he's been awesome. Trevor, Will Anderson Jr., the GOAT. I was telling people with this kid coming out of Alabama. As a Bears fan, I was like, all right, either we trade the first overall pick or let's take Will Anderson Jr. And I've been like secretly in the shadows, been like, I it would have worked. It would have worked if we did take him. But then again, I'm not I'm very happy with Caleb Williams. But Trevor, this man has transformed one draft, and it's about CJ now. Because in one draft, they transformed the identity and what their defense looks like for, man, I can't even define it, for the next decade plus, obviously. Sammy Jones, great. We've got Myles Garrett there at number one on the list. But my guy Rick, make sure that you're following. Who else is in here? AJB, and the offense was stagnant with Patullo. Addition by subtraction. Reed does hurt though. Yeah, it absolutely does. And look, the argument here is we're going to be a little bit more dynamic with Eli Stowers and with Mekhi Lemon. We're going to be stronger in our locker room. The culture is going to improve, and we're going to be cheaper if we send A.J. Brown away. To your point, Coach Mills. The boy, thoughts on Broncos and Bo Nix making it to the Super Bowl within 2-3. The boy, I mean, they were right there. Honestly, if they just kick that field goal, if they just go ahead and kick that field goal in the the second quarter, get up 10-0, they probably winds up finding a way to win that game, the boy. So I really think that they can, the boy. Make sure you're following the boy. Yes, brother, FG. Steve Perry, Packers should be a playoff lock. I'm going to have to say I humbly disagree with you, Steve, just because of what you have coming back from injury. Is Micah, is Devontae Wyatt, is Tucker Kraft, are they all the same person? If only two of those guys are, those are three of your best five players. This weirdness right now with Josh Jacobs. Sertan Glazer is back, folks. Good to see you back. Good to see you back. We got about an hour left. We've been here for an hour 36. I'm going to say let's go for 2.5 hours, and then we'll come back in the late afternoon. 2.5 hours, and that won't be bad. And then we'll probably do another 2.5 hour session. Maybe finish with 3.5. Caleb, I'm your favorite streamer. Hey, Caleb, I appreciate it, but don't be lying to me now, Caleb. I would rather, like I always talk about, it's honesty, folks. If I'm not, just tell me where I am in your rankings. If I'm number 4, tell me what I got to do. But if I truly am your favorite streamer, thank you so much. It means a lot. And look, it's been so much fun coming on here. And I feel like I'm building relationships with all of you guys, from Alicia to Off Topic, who's been awesome, to Get Mossed by Nico Collins, to Aiden and our guy Sertan Glazer and Mason on TikTok, and Flair's Legacy, who's been awesome for such a long time. Being in here. So all of you guys, I appreciate all of you so much. Texans above the Birds and Chiefs and the Ravens. You know how we feel, Flair's Legacy. You are now the title gifter of Rose. Thank you so much. Level 13 now you are. Thank you so much for the roses. I appreciate you. Hey, Sertan, Broncos will have a losing season. Johnny Gunn, and thank you so much again for more roses, Flair's Legacy. I appreciate you. Well, if it's the truth, Caleb, thank you so much. It really means a lot to someone that's just looking to do this every single day and continue to just grow day by day and get better. You guys help me improve at doing this. What do we got? Nick, yes, Eagles aren't playoff locks because the division has been improving. The Cowboys, the Giants, the Commanders, they're all going to be better next year, and you could argue Philly isn't going to be better than they were a year ago. Nico Collins, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. I really appreciate you. It's been great to have you in here, and now as my trusted moderator, thank you so much for the support and the $5 super chat. I appreciate you. What do we got? And the Houston Texans should be really good. I mean, you've heard me talk about them at length, at nauseum, and we're going to continue to do so until people just are tired of me talking about Houston and Will Anderson Jr., and then we're going to continue to do it. Won every game by 60. I'm down to number 2. Philly can't guarantee a better roster with letting AJ Brown and a few vets leave. Um, it would be cool if the Dallas Cowboys go to the Super Bowl. Yeah, that certainly could be fun, without a doubt. That really could be. That really could be. And Caleb, check out what we just got for you, my man. I appreciate it. If you mean what you say, and then we're gonna reward you, my guy. Thank you so much for all the support, Caleb. As we're gonna try you out a moderator. Let's see how it goes. It comes with great responsibility, Caleb. But thank you for everything, my man. LMAO Eagles is definitely a playoff lock, and I think Nick just had a bit of pushback, right, to me having that a little bit earlier. Bengals are contenders from N8H8SU. I see it, and I know that it's not cliche. I know I sound like every other person, but like they need to be healthy. If they are healthy, and it's been a concern, it's a legitimate concern. Burrow's been unhealthy in half of his years in the league. If they are, though, Nate, 8SU, I fully agree that they are. And make sure that you're following Nate. Brando, great to have you in here, my man. Make sure that you're following. Let me know what you agree, what you disagree with. Let's get to it. Birds still gonna win the division. That's what I currently have right now. And Flair's legacy, the number 2 badge. Let's go. Let's keep it rolling. Let's get you to number 1. We're gonna be here a while. Let's see if you can overtake. Who's at 1 right now? Carolina should be in the playoff lock bracket. You got no representation of the NFC South. I don't right now. Panther pride. I've talked about it. In high school, I was a Panther. In college, I was a Panther. Blessed Express. Make sure that you are following. Thanks for being in here, Caleb. Let's go, Caleb. Keep rolling, man. Keep putting the content on out there. Why are you throwing an egg, Vito? Vito Corleone. What do we got? Spangle. Well, how much football is mixed in with your ad breaks? I don't really know, to be honest. Wait. I don't. Are there even ad breaks on on live on YouTube? I honestly don't even know. Are there ad breaks for the YouTube Shorts, like the YouTube vertical live? Do you guys get ads coming in here? Vito, I'm not exactly sure. um, yeah, I was a little bit confused by that. Sertan Glazer, good call. Vinny Fusco, Jets are going to the Super Bowl. They got Young Wei Koo. Vinny Fusco, 11. Jets are going to the Super Bowl. They got Young Wei Koo. Vinny, I appreciate your enthusiasm for what they are, but still, we are going to have to humbly disagree, at least for right now. But make sure that you're following, Vinny. Bengals need to show they can play semblance of defense. If they do that, they will be a tried and true contender next year. My man Vinny, M0IO49er, make sure that you're following. Rob, thank you for the goats. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for the support there. It means a lot. We're gonna keep grinding, folks. What do we have? Cimarron dissed. What do we have here? Dissed. Dolphins get dissed. And Cimarron, if you've heard me talk about it, you know that I have continued with the talk of Jeremiah Smith to the Dolphins next year. If they are bad, which is honestly what I think they should be, I think it's better to get the best college football player in the last generation, in the last 15 years, since Calvin Johnson was coming out of Georgia Tech, to bring him in. So my guy Cimarron, if you want them to get better, get a blue chip talent, I would be rooting for Jeremiah Smith to the Dolphins. Make sure that you're following Cimarron. What do you think the Texans' weak points are going into next year, Joel? Well, you know what they are going to be, Joel. It's fully surrounding CJ and him having confidence. Vito, what's the point? Yep. Let's see. The only reason why the Packers is not going to be a playoff lock, they might not even make it. Parsons will not be the same, and too much going on. Also, Josh Jacobs. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, no, I know what you're saying. I got you. I'm the wide receiver too on the Dolphins. Uh, what do we got right now? We got Caleb Douglas and Chris Bell. I can't think of who else are the other wide receivers there for Miami right now. Vinny, thank you so much for the follow. Party Possum, thank you for the follow. I appreciate you guys on YouTube right now. If you have not subscribed, please make sure you do so. Everybody in the chat going after Vito Corleone for the soccer comments. Lads and Egg is into football. I think Panthers might tear up this season. Big year for Young. Broncos are looking real good though. I agree. I can't agree with you any more than that. Honestly, Party Possum with what it's looking like next year for Bryce. If he's able to have some semblance of what he was in those big games against the Rams, like we're looking at a quarterback that's going to be tried and true dangerous next year with the addition of Chris Brazel. Defensively, like they could be a top 5 unit in all honesty. Prince Will, Amami Yellen, if Nick Scourton take jumps on the edge. Remember, Nick Scourton was the SEC Defensive Player of the Year in 2024. And then Lee Hunter. I mean, the Texans aren't as, the Texas Tech's not as good last year without Lee Hunter. And uh, it was just J.C. Horn getting hurt at the end of that Rams game that really hurt them. I thought they were going to beat them. Bro, I mean, 14 teams do make the playoffs, IGH Tone. I think that when you have 14 teams, it legitimately, I mean, that's what? That's right there. That's 43% of the teams in the NFL getting there. So technically, I have what? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 or so teams in that type of consideration. What do we got? Just stopping the beef. Let's see. What do we got here? Eagles or dog? Are you saying R dog? Raiders? It's not in the playoffs. Right now, it's simply just a question mark around them. They should expand the playoffs. The math is hard though from Party Possum. I don't. At 14, we can't go above that. We can't go above that currently. No, but IGH Tone. It's not playoffs. It's playoffs. Playoffs. We can't even win a game. That's what it is. If you remember Jim Mora, IGH Tone. But I appreciate the enthusiasm, IGH Tone. Make sure that you are following my man. Thank you for being in here. It's great to see you. Look, and I believe it's only 16 right now that I'm like, Steelers could be contenders and what they are. The ceiling for the Vikings next year I've got as 11-6 and floor at 5-12, like top 5 pick contention. And even if they were, it's not exactly a bad thing. The Minnesota Vikings could be in a win-win. All right, what do we got in Kyler? We're not paying him anything. If he's good, okay, we're in the playoff contention. If he's bad, okay, let's go restart this quarterback room and go get a guy in the 2027 NFL draft. There are worse positions to be in. Guys, we just hit 5,600 subscribers on YouTube. Thank you, everyone, so much. The goal, let's get to 5,700 by tomorrow, if possible. It would be great. So if you have not subscribed on YouTube, make sure that you are. And if you haven't, please do so right now. Thank you so much. Mr. AP1, or put the Jags in Super Bowl or bust. We have a lot of faith right now in Trevor Lawrence to retain what he was a year ago. I'm a little bit down on Lloyd and Achane losing them. So for me, it's definitely not that category. But hey, they were the best run defense in football a season ago. So I'm very high on what they are. From Mr. AP1, make sure that you are following. And IGH Tone, if you're still in here, make sure you're following. Jay Freeman, what would you change? It doesn't mean anything to me, honestly, if you just say it's bad and you don't give any feedback. So, if you got feedback and you want to come in here and just chat ball and let me know what you see and what you would change, and actually give some feedback, I would humbly appreciate that. Jackson Hayes, thank you so much for following. I appreciate you. Finns will have a better record than the Jets. I could see it, Jackson. You know, if Malik Willis is that guy, right? If he looks like the dude he did against the Bears in that second half or against the Baltimore Ravens on that Saturday game, he looked pretty good until he got knocked out of that game. Then you're looking at a lot of potential there. Connor Talks Sports, great to have you in here. You know, I've seen your content a little bit, man. I'm gonna make sure to give you a follow. I appreciate you being in here. Let me know what you think of the list right now, Connor. I know that you might be like, the Bills Super Bowl contenders potentially, but playoff locks is what they've been 6 years in a row in the divisional round. Jags are a playoff lock. Not even Panthers up. Yeah, I mean, I'm very high on them. I'm a diehard Chicago Bears fan, Jay Freeman. I love Chicago. And so the Ravens, so you don't think the Lions down, you're saying Green Bay down, Jay Freeman. And the Ravens should be up in playoff locks as well. See you week 1, Jay Freeman. I am of the opinion they were going to beat the Rams if J.C. Horn doesn't get hurt. No one has talked about it this entire offseason. People have just seemingly forgotten that they were clamping Stafford in that game. They were playing unbelievable, and they legitimately did not get him to third down. I don't think on that final drive they went right through him without J.C. Horn on the field. It's my man Jay Freeman. I will see you week 1. I hope it's a good game and everybody's healthy for it. I'm rooting for Bryce Young, and I appreciate you guys from that trade, and I'm hoping Bryce Young works out and the trade, ultimately is mutually beneficial. So my man Jay Freeman, make sure you're following Tay Doe with the bear down in the chat. Make sure you're following Tay Doe. Great to have you in here. What do we have? Take a chance on more teams, in my opinion. Okay. So have a couple of more hot takes, Sean Tuberall. So who would we? If for me, that'd be like the Carolina Panthers, honestly, putting them into contenders to our guy Jay Freeman. Jay Freeman, thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate it. Mo Sane, back in here. I'm back, Josh Allen. Good to see you back, Mo Sane. That's actually, I might only be the second Josh Allen call out of the day. So we haven't even gotten that many so far. Yeah, the Jaguars were the number 1 rushing defense in football last year by rushing yards a game by 4.5. They were unbelievable. Thunder or Spurs? Let's go to a game 7. Why not, Sertan Glazer? I'm going Spurs tonight. That's who I'm going to be rooting for. Super Bowl or bust, CB Brown? Who are we talking about there? Who do you think? Tay-Do, were you at any of the playoff games this year? I know a lot of people that are getting to know me from these lives know that I really don't sleep all that much, but that was an example of that. I went on a red eye. I'm from Los Angeles, flew out to see the Bears and the Rams last year in the divisional rounds, and it was worth every cent. The snow, the 4th and 4, the ice baby coming on on before that play, Tay-Do. It was incredible. Wait, what? Mo Sane with question mark. What is that surrounding? What can I help answer you with? I would have never guessed that stat for the Jaguars. I know. They led the league in rushing defense by 4.5 yards. Denver was second, 91.1. The Seattle Seahawks were 3, 91.9. And the Texans were 4th, 93.7. Yeah, pretty wild. Where do you rank the Vikings quarterback play? I've got them in the bottom 5 currently. Whether it's going to be Kyler Murray or it is going to wind up being JJ McCarthy. So about as low as it gets currently on Minnesota Vikings quarterback play. I really don't know anything about the Astros or the Rangers right now. But I know that the Astros cheated, so I'll just say Rangers. And does anyone remember the 2011 Game 6 of the World Series, folks? I know this is a crazy call out for a TikTok and a YouTube stream about football. But David Freese, Game 6, anyone remember that? Right? 2 outs. This man hits a triple off the wall, keeps the Cardinals alive. So the Texas Rangers and the heartbreak that they suffered, like, I'll always feel that for the Tech. They were, I think, a pitch away several times in that game. They had him with 2 outs, 2 strikes. I want to say 2 or 3 times in that game. Jason Sanchez with the Go Dolphins. Look, Jason, I've been asking Dolphins fans here. I know it's low on the list, but would you rather say we go 8-9, just miss the playoffs, or be terrible, go 14-3, and have Jeremiah Smith as your starting wide receiver 1 next year? Answer me that, Jason. Bring Jeremiah Smith back to the 305. David, I appreciate you commenting, but I don't know what that honestly means unless you give me feedback on what you would change. Jason, make sure you are subscribed if you have not already. Scott, if you haven't subscribed, make sure you do so. Joseph, your uncle, make sure you are subbed, my man, if you haven't done so. You actually think the Cowboys can make the playoffs? Clifford, I absolutely do think that they can get into the postseason with the additions that they have made to their defense. There's zero doubt in my mind that they can be a team. Yep, 3,000 likes. We're fired up currently. Now I wish was at the house though. Tato, I gotcha. My man Tato, make sure that you're following, brother. Keep supporting your fellow Bears fans or your fellow teammates, folks. If you have not done so, you got to make sure. Thank you. Someone actually believes it. Thank you for the follow, Clifford. I appreciate you. PerPup7, thank you for the follow, guys. It means a lot to see it. And look, we're going to be rolling. We're going to be on here for another 35 minutes, folks, and then we are going to call it. But we will be back again later on today, back here on live. Panthers in contenders, Brax. I see it. I don't doubt that at all. That with that defense, and I was saying, Brax, are you a Panthers fan? We just had another one in the chat that I really feel that they can be the best team in the South with ease, just as long as Bryce Young improves next year and he's more consistent. He was fine at training IBC from what I heard. Move Chargers down. You can't trust. I've got one more year of faith, Alicia, for Justin Herbert. I got one more season. I'm sorry the Broncos can't be that high up. We don't know the condition of their starting quarterback. You're funny having the Lions in the playoffs lock section from Allie's Cat. Look, Allie's Cat, I'm looking right at you. I'm a diehard Bears fan. I got no reason to put the Lions up that high unless my unbiased eyes see talent there and see a quarterback in Goff that has led the NFL in yards and touchdowns the last 4 years, the last 3 years, the last 2 years. This man has been a surgeon except in the NFC title game against the 49ers. But save that in a Sunday night game against the Texans through 5 picks. Besides those 2, he's played at an unbelievably high level. Maybe Christmas against the Minnesota Vikings. You could throw that on as well. Blunt of Kush. I don't know what you're looking at, but thank you for the enthusiasm. Blunt of Kush. Allie's Cats, make sure you're following. Jacob, I fully agree with you. As long as they're healthy, make sure you're following Jacob. Brax, make sure that you are following. Appreciate all of you guys being in here, supporting and engaging. What time live next? We are going to be live, I would say, in about 3 hours from now. Bro, you look like the guy who watched, in some time, Blackwall. Dude, what are we doing, Blackwall? Guys, leave that comment up. Don't touch it, guys. Our moderators, don't touch the comment. It made me laugh. Just don't be putting anything else like that in there, Blackwall mood. But that's funny. That's a little bit funny. If you can't be having any more of that in the chat, but you gotta laugh at me for right now. The Lions have been horrible and missing the playoffs a lot, and let Knuckles get away. Who retracted the comment? Did he take it away? I don't think anyone took the comment out. Did he just remove it? What happened there? I got a good laugh out of that. That was hilarious. No, I know it. It usually says that who did it, but I think he may have honestly just taken it down. I think we may have had him second guess having that in there. The Lions have been horrible, missing the playoffs. They only missed the playoffs last year. They made it the 2 years before that. I removed it. I didn't want you to get flagged. Thank you, Blackwall Mood. I appreciate you. If you aren't subscribed, please guys, he removed his own comment. So there you go. Carter, make sure you're subbed up. Steer of Wisdom, all the GOAT 17. Hey, in my opinion, I may sound biased, but I'm a Bills fan, and the refs really helped the Broncos win that game. So please. No, I'm with you. I'm with you that the Bills with Josh Allen every year are pretty much Super Bowl or bust. My man, all the GOAT 17, if you haven't subscribed, please make sure you do so. Good to have you in here. As a Bills fan, you and Sertan Glazer are gonna have a chance to go at it. Good stuff, Carter. Thank you. Appreciate that, my guy. Always key pieces from Mosane. Guys, on TikTok, I don't know. TikTok right now, I don't know, and we're having connectivity. We're going to restart this, and then we're going to start it up right back. David, make sure that you're following that guy. The Cardinals win the World Cup is hilarious. Marshy, what's up? I got you all, the GOAT. No worries, without a doubt. Look, I interact with everybody here. This is a place where we come together and enjoy. We have ourselves a lot of fun. So without a doubt, you got it. You got it, my man. I appreciate you subscribing. Okay, we have, all right, folks, last 30 minutes here of this morning going into the early afternoon stream. We're going to take this to just past 11 o'clock Pacific time. Then we'll hop off until about 2:30ish, and then we'll get back on here for another 2.5 hours, maybe 3.5. And I don't know yet if we're going to do an evening stream. Depends on how the afternoon window goes. The goal is to be live for 7 hours today total, like we were yesterday. Phil, what's happening? Good to see you, Phil. Can you move the Cowboys up? So you want the Cowboys to be lost in the wild card round, Carter? I actually think that the Steelers have a higher floor than Dallas, but tell me I'm crazy, but the Cowboys, if they're the team I think they are on defense and they retain what they were offensively, they could be they're a true contender in that case. So but are you saying, Carter, you want them to be lost in the wild card round? We could put them in that category. We have I just don't know quite. No, like playoff locks. Carter, playoff locks is doable. But that would probably take a bribe, to be honest, to put the Cowboys up that high. Without knowing, we think the defense is gonna be good, but yeah, it would take that's probably like an 18 of what it would take to put the Cowboys. If I have the Cowboys in playoff locks, like the amount of people coming on in here that just immediately keep scrolling because they don't believe in it, that equates to, so that would need to be a significant bribe to make that happen. Do you think that the Ravens are better than the Bills? In my opinion, I don't think so. The Bengals schedule is easy, Carter. No Cowboy. Yeah. Respectfully. Thank you for being respectful about it, Nico Collins. West, Falcons. Do you think that's a little bit too low for them right now? And I really like Dallas next year, Carter. I might be the biggest Caleb Downs fan, bigger than any of the Cowboys fans that a lot of them didn't like him, or the Texas Longhorns. What's up, Beba? Good to see you. Raiders fan. You probably like where they currently are on here. Make sure that you're following, Bubba. No, Ravens could definitely have a chance to beat them. Come in and heard something about Cowboy love, Kasha. We were talking about it. We were also saying that how much of a it would take a little bit of a bribe. Like we've had a couple of those to put them up into the playoff locks category. It would need to, in order for that to happen, it would probably need to be it would need to be bribed. Wait, how are Lions in playoff locks but Ravens ain't, Zach? It's the schedule. I know. I saw Kasha's in here. She's back here to have a good time. Do you think that Fernando Mendoza will do good and help the Raiders? I absolutely think that he will, and I'm hoping that they can get Jeremiah Smith or Cam Coleman the same way as the Dolphins to get that position. But Zach, that's exactly why the Lions are there, because of the schedule, and I like that roster. Obviously, they've been really good. Camden, what do we not, guys? The F word is fun. It's fine. You don't need to remove F. I've said it before. Like I said it last night. You can literally put any word in here that you want, obviously, except for that one. But as long as it's not egregiously attacking anybody and bad, you can put cuss words. I got no problem with it. In the chat. No, Camden, what do we not like though about this? Just got to let my moderators know currently. Hot take: Chiefs don't make the playoffs this season with all the weapons they got. What's going on, I Heart Jesus? Good to have you back. Tempted to bribe for Cowboys advancement. I mean, our guy Sertan Glazer. I think what Stevie bribed. He signed up for. He's a blitzer now. He signed up for a blitzer membership for the Raiders to be in the playoffs category, and I think he gave like 2 or 3 super chats to get the Raiders into that category. So our guy, he made it happen with a couple of them. My Raiders could possibly go to the playoffs, but Dallas, I mean, that would probably be a 20 in order to get them into a locks category. Like having people seeing the Cowboys over the Eagles, the amount of Eagles fans that would give zero respect would be. What's going on, ZIY? Good to have you back. Name one team with a better defense than who? Bro, Ravens should be higher than contenders. No, of course I didn't forget you, ZIY driver. I don't think I've seen you in here. No, I gotcha. Name one team with a better defense than the Ravens. The Houston Texans. Do I get my money back when they make the playoffs? Honestly, yeah, we could make that deal. We could make that deal. If they did wind up, you could shoot me in a DM your Venmo, and if they did make the postseason, I would send it on back over to you. We could do that. No, I do think that they can, but playoff locks category is just like, it's going to happen unless there are injuries. Like, it's that simple. I am a fan of the Chicago Bears, Colton. So I think that Dallas could be one of the 5 most talented teams in the NFL next year if they have improvement on defense. We've talked about this at length. It's just that category is so tough to get into. Like, the Bills have Josh Allen. The Texans have the best defense in football. The Patriots are just in the Super Bowl. The Lions' schedule is ridiculously simple, and the San Francisco 49ers were a game away from the title, from the 1 seed with that many guys hurt. At least say the Steelers suck, Leo. I mean, a loss in the wild card round. They're 0-6 in their last 6 playoff games. On the Ravens, who's better than Stingley? It's a good question. Do you think Caleb could have potential to be a similar player like Lamar? I think Caleb could be better than Lamar's spec. I know 2 MVPs. Maybe he doesn't have that kind of rushing, and I don't want him to. But I think Caleb, just with his ability late in games, can be better spec. And it's a good question. And make sure that you're following spec. Liam McGarity, thank you for sharing and reposting the stream. Make sure you're following my guy. Oreo, make sure you're following. Finally, we have the Broncos up. Lucio, make sure that you are following. I appreciate you. Good to see you back, Caleb. What's happening, my man? Caleb Downs is too short for an NFL safety from our guy, Timeless. Look, He's going to take all that stuff personally. I think he is 5'11 and a half, though, is what he measured in that. Do you see Tyler Shuck thrive? Spec, thank you for the follow. I am glad to have you in here. Do you see Tyler Shuck thriving in the Saints offense now with our easier schedule? I could, and it's the worst division in football. So I see no reason why Tyler Shuck can't have a bunch of success. The best player in the NFL is Myles Garrett right now. Get Moss. And I don't, Pat Surtain, Jamar Chase, Mahomes obviously when healthy. Those are the best players in the league. But Myles Garrett right now is number one. You play golf because of the Travis Matthew hat and the the Lululemon turquoise shirt button up. Do you think Tyler Shuck will truly be better than Shedeur Sanders? Zion Wide Driver. I haven't seen Shuck play in person like I've seen Shedeur. Chewbacca we have. But we're going to continue to run it. We've been doing this a bunch. Did you already do this? We've done this stream a bunch of times, and we're going to be doing this stream later today, and for about 7 total hours today. It's going to be a lot of fun. Guys, on YouTube, if you haven't subscribed right now, like if you're Leo the GOAT, if you haven't, if you're Rithro, all you guys, if you haven't subscribed, please make sure you do so. We're trying to get to 6,000 subscribers in the next week. So we're trying to grind it out. Coney Stanton, what's going on? Good to have you in here. Vin needs to go back to Denver and say goodbye. I can see it without a doubt. We're excited. Thank you, Leo. I appreciate you. Yep, happy to shout you out. You need people ranking these teams live flares. I've thought about it. It's just been very tough for the people that are like on YouTube right now. We've got about 100 people on YouTube watching currently, and it's tough for them to understand like the audio has actually been okay, but to see them. Why are the Browns but why are you saying a Browns player is the best? Myles Garrett? That's what he is right now. There's just no one at that level currently playing. Camden, I don't know exactly what we're referring to there, but be careful, Camden. Be careful with what you're saying there. I don't know how that's relevant right now to what we got going on. Azras, thank you so much. How about the Spurs? Well, it's game 6 tonight, right? Today at 5:30 p.m. And Get Mossed just is showing Camden. We got to come in with a little bit more respect next time. It's Camden. It's okay. I know this is a football channel, but do you hate Shy too? I don't know about hate. I hate what he's doing, right? I hate his activity on the court. It's disrespectful to legends like Kobe Bryant, to Michael Jordan, to guys that have been, or even LeBron, Steph Curry. He's had flopping moments, but still his physical nature and his just pure ability going both ways overrides that. But what do we have here, Camden? Kansas City Chiefs fan, rate them higher. There we go, Camden. There's a I don't even know anything about a fur coat for Shai Alexander. Why are you doubting the Falcons, Oreo? I know that they're in a very manageable division right now, but for Atlanta, look, it's the quarterback position. It's a more significant situation than even what's happening in Minnesota. Tua or Michael Penix, unfortunately, I just don't trust either of those guys that much. What did Ginny say? Pat Surtain, Glazer? What did Ginny come in post-game interview fashion? I didn't even see the comment, but I trust you. Let's see. Panthers are playoff lock. He was spamming. Oh, yeah, thank you for cutting out the spamming. Panthers are a playoff lock legend, and you're going up against a guy in here right now. What player might disappoint you this season? I think a big candidate to disappoint this year has to be Matthew Stafford. Like coming off of an MVP year, people are saying he's a top 3 quarterback in the league, and I absolutely agree. what if there's some sort of regression? What if he isn't able to stay healthy? So that to me would be a big part of was Jace spamming too? What did Jace put in? Why did Jace get muted? um, let's see. But no, I agree with you. I think that the Carolina Panthers are going to be really good next year. It just depends on. No, he deleted his own. I gotcha. Put the Colts higher. They got Danny Dimes and the JT combo. I got to see what Daniel Jones looks like. I know how good they were a year ago. 8-4 before he got hurt. The first team in history to be 6 games above 500 and not make the playoffs. The 2025 Indianapolis Colts a year ago. We got Allie's cat in here. Good to see you. Jordan, AZ isn't giving up their schedule like they said about them in 22. Yeah. I think that there's a 4-13 in there. Panthers barely won the division and won with a losing record. The Bucks didn't have a top 10 running back in Bucky, and also Godwin, Mike Evans were injured. Look, I've got Tampa or I've got the Panthers winning that division. And if I got to be honest, I have a bit more faith currently in Baker Mayfield right now. Let's see. Coming from a Bears fan, you wish hate on Stafford. I'm trying to save up for a vehicle right now, so I don't have any money to spare. But if you can't move the Cowboys up to playoff locks, can you at least make Eagles fans upset? It's probably we potentially could. We potentially could. Look, they've got the double doink on my head, and they've had that for a while, so it wouldn't break my heart for it. The Falcons will finish last in the South from Allie's cat. Yeah, we've been down on that. 4-13 to Cardinals is disrespectful. I see a 10 with Jordan. With who is their starting quarterback though? Right, Carson Beck, Camden, the Chiefs. If we got to see you go, Camden, then we will have to see you go because I can't put the Chiefs as a playoff. I don't know if Mahomes is going to be healthy and if he can take hits next year. So if you gotta unsubscribe just because I've got them ranked in the contenders category, then you do you. So if you gotta take off and do that move, then go ahead. Research, do your research. I mean, they were into 7 straight AFC title games. I've got them right now at 12 in my power rankings. If they are healthy, you're going to see me having the Chiefs right back in the top 5 within the first half of the year. If Mahomes looks like the same guy and they're playing well. Isaiah is free, Blender. Thank you, Kenny Goat. I appreciate you. What do we got? Jordan, let's get $800 by weekend 3. Better pay up. Jordan, make sure you're following. Great to have you in here. 2-15 at best. Ayubi, Broncos winning that Super Bowl. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Ayubi, I don't know if you've checked out my YouTube, but we've got a diehard Broncos fan. His name is Sertan Glazer. He's in the chat right now on YouTube. Ayubi, I bet you guys would get along really well. Sertan Glazer, he's saying the Broncos winning that Super Bowl. So he's loving your bribe from yesterday and where we currently have the Denver Broncos rated. You are cool. Thank you, Ezra. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. I wish I could tell. Allie's cat, thank you so much. I appreciate you. Thank you for the heart me. Bryce Young is my short king legend. I used to have doubts in Bryce Young, and I still do have doubts. Honestly, I should just say that. But Sertan Glazer taking off. We will see you. Hope this afternoon, later on today. If not, we'll be seeing you later this week. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. I'm glad you had fun with the Broncos up in that category. Look, legend, if Bryce Young plays at a high level, this is a contender. There's no doubt about it with how good their defense is. Heck, they were a J.C. Horn injury away from beating the Rams probably in that game against them in the playoffs and beating them again. So, legend, make sure you're following legend. Alfie M07. Anybody know the name Alfie Solomons? Swell PVR. I don't know why your messages got deleted. What did you put in the chat? Broncos are dub. Did your messages get deleted? I didn't see it. Chirping Cowboys and not being able to spell is wild. Who's chirping this is funny. Camden, I am a diehard Chicago Bears fan. We may have a 26-year drought of winning one, yet I still have faith. Let's go. Keegan Miller, what's going on? Ron Doby, my Bengals. What do we got about? Bro, Colts will for sure surprise everyone yet again. We will do it better this year from Dylan is coursing. Coursing. For the shoe. So you have faith in Irsay, I would imagine. Some people don't, but Dylan, look, if Daniel Jones is the same guy he was last year, you are looking at a bona fide Super Bowl contender. Dylan, make sure you are following my man. I live in Georgia and love the LA Rams. They're my Super Bowl pick. Of course I remember you, ITEYPRO. How could I not? You were clutch yesterday. A lot of very good takes. It's great to see you back in here. I remember the Jesus-looking profile. I don't know if it is of Jesus or what's the profile photo, but I definitely remember you, IT. Bills Sports. Bills and Ravens not in Super Bowl or bust. It's a good question. Right now for Buffalo, I understand it. Like, Josh Allen should kind of be in the Super Bowl or bust category every year, but I just got to see that run defense come together. Kasha, take care. Cowboys, well, we'll hopefully see you later, Kasha. Great to have you back in the chat. But Bill Sports, I do remember you from yesterday, IT. Local sports fanatic, good to have you in here. DJ going to be on. He's looking good out there in OTAs, and AR5 has good spirits as well. Yeah, we're fired up. Bills are going to be next year, but Baltimore in the same category. But we just got to see Lamar stay healthy. All right, Azra, take care. Hope you have a good rest of your day, or if we see you a little bit later. Oh, you're okay. Just kidding. Why did Dylan Daniels get timed out, Nico Collins? What happened there? Why did we time them out? Am I letting people up? We could do, I guess, the last 10 minutes. And we could get people on, just talking a little bit, let people. Thank you. I appreciate that, swell PVR. Thank you for spam. Yeah, can't be spamming. Texans are better than the Pats. I actually humbly agree. I think they got the best defense in football as of right now going into next year. There's no doubt about it. I'm huge on what CJ Stroud is going to be. What do we got? Flares. Let's see it actually. What's up, Flares? We're seeing if we're going to add we haven't really done many of these, but we're going to see if Flares is on right now and get Flares' opinions and what he's got to say. Flares, can you hear me? What's going on? What are you thinking? What would you change about the power rankings right now?
I believe the Bucs should be moved up a little bit because they are a good team. So, I think they're a little bit too low.
Okay.
I think the Chargers are a little bit too high. Move them down behind where the Chiefs are. Put them there.
Oh, interesting. So is that because of Herbert? You don't think that Herbert deserves is that your main thought on them?
It's just I haven't seen anything out of them since 23, I think it was. Like I said the other day. Again, the Bears had a good season last year. I don't think that I would personally put them at the number one spot for contenders.
Okay.
And then everything else looks fine. I would probably move the Texans behind the 49ers.
Just because San Francisco had a lot of success last year, and with them having all those injuries, I'd imagine probably. And then you probably have doubts on CJ too, I bet, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And is this just a post-schedule release, or is this just...
This is post-schedule release, yeah. And this is also taking into account, like, we've had people on YouTube there's a couple of put in like different locations of like just fan feedback because I've been taking in just engagement from people, so it's fun to like put. I'll get you up, Jesus is Lord. Next, I'll get you up on here to talk as well. We're gonna be wrapping up, but yeah, we've been taking in feedback as well. I think making it more interactive is more fun for the people watching. So we've been moving things around a little bit. Like right now, we had a $10 bribe on YouTube to move the Broncos from locks to Super Bowl or bust. So that's why they're up there right now. But tomorrow, like I would move them back to playoff locks. Um, and the Raiders as well. Like someone became a member on my YouTube, so we moved them one up. So there's a couple of things that have changed just from
I mean,
just
I
from.
would keep them. I would keep them in Super Bowl or bust because a lot of people are saying like if Knicks never got injured in that
Right.
game,
Oh, it's a good point.
would've won
Yeah,
the Super Bowl.
it's a good point.
And then I'd probably move the Cardinals last because when I saw the schedule, that's the hardest schedule I've ever seen this season. So Cardinals may go 1-6.
Yeah, no, that schedule is absolutely absurd. I cannot believe it. But all right, my man, we'll get you on here at some point in the future. I really appreciate you and all of the support on here. We're gonna keep grinding through it the off season, man. Thank you so much.
Absolutely, thank you.
Yeah, take care. Yeah, we fully agree that schedule. We'll get Jesus is the Lord on here right now. That schedule for what's going on, my man. How you doing?
Good. You might not remember me. I'll be in the lives a lot.
No, I absolutely do. What's up, Caleb?
What's up?
How we doing? So what we got? What would you change of what you're seeing right now?
Low-key, I'll give the list like a 6 right now.
A 6?
Because I don't have Raiders in the playoffs, even though they have a good draft. Fernando's not going to be good in Los Angeles.
Okay.
He's not going to be good.
Okay.
And I feel like we should move Eagles up 1 and then move Patriots down.
The Eagles did lose to the Chargers, though. Are you're saying up a category in the playoff locks or up above the
playoff locks?
Dang.
I'm
Okay.
not sure about Super Bowl.
Okay.
We might lose in the third round in the NFC Championship.
Okay, I gotcha. Move Panthers up from Blake. Yeah, I feel really good about the Panthers next year. It's just on Bryce, Blake. It's just on Bryce whether or not they have a lot of success. It's just on him, and if he stays consistent. What else? What else you got?
I feel like Jax should be down 1.
Okay.
And I feel like Tampa Bay and Steelers should switch.
Okay, I got you. So no one in the NFC South is a playoff lock right now, Kyle, because, who are we going to take? This is the worst division in football. Someone obviously will be winning that division. If I had to pick someone, I'd go Carolina. But to your point, like the Tampa Bay Bucks do look like, that they should.
Earlier, my friend was drawing on football. He said the Saints are better than the Texans.
Yeah, that's not. We can't be having that.
He had Saints in playoffs.
Yeah, we can't be doing that. Can't be doing that, Caleb.
He's a diehard Saints fan.
I bet he is. We gotta get away from the biased eyes. It took me a while to get away from it, but appreciate you, Caleb. Yeah. One more. Yeah, what were you gonna say?
I'm gonna say he's not even from New Orleans. He just wants to be a Saints fan because his dad is.
Oh, there you go. Gerardo's liking that take. He's liking your friend's take. Gerardo makes sure you're following. All right, Caleb. Good to have you on. Look, man, we'll see what everybody else is saying about the rankings, and thank you so much for watching, man. I really appreciate you following.
And can I say one more thing?
Depends on what it is. Depends on what you're gonna say.
Can I say something about the Eagles?
All right, what are you gonna say about the Eagles?
Eagles to the Super Bowl.
Okay, there you go. Eagles to the Super Bowl from Caleb, folks. They have as much talent right now as anyone still, although they lost Blankenship. Right now there is what do we got here? Is Dylan Daniel Look, I'll bet everyone in here $800 on Cardinals schedule that we win no more than 2 games. Jordan, I honestly would take that bet. I think they will win 3 or 4 games, but they're gonna struggle next year. 2 wins is absolutely heinous, but I get what you're saying. And Jordan, make sure that you're following, my guy. I appreciate you. Who else is in here right now? Blake. If we played the Falcons every game, we'd win the Super Bowl. It's exactly right, Blake. Make sure you're following Blake. Was the phone guy? The phone guy was on TikTok. Yeah, we sometimes include people from TikTok and get them on connected to the stream. So that's what the audio was. Thank you for the follow, Blake. I appreciate you. We're gonna do 10 more minutes, folks, and then we are going to wrap up. If you have not followed or subscribed, please make sure that you subscribe on YouTube right now. Heath Slater. What am I missing about the Rams? I have them in tier playoffs. I don't believe you, even Heath. They got better? They added McDuffie. They've got the MVP. They've got Adams, who leads the NFL in touchdowns over the last 5 years with receiving touchdowns with 55. I like Jeffrey's take. Niners with Bosa and Warner back will smash Broncos. Jeffrey, I don't exactly know. Yeah, the phone guy was a TikTok on TikTok. Nico Collins. Bryce turns into prime Brady when we play the Falcons. Get Mossed. No, it was somebody on TikTok. Yeah. Not Keith Slater. Isaiah O'Kelly, Raiders, Bears, Super Bowl. Sign me up. Sign me up right now. Can we have a handshake agreement? Can we just sign a contract? Thank you so much for the super chat, Isaiah O'Kelly. Thank you so much for supporting and watching the show. It is great to have you in here. I would love to see it in a few years. You know, if the Raiders add Fernando Mendoza, it's a weapon, right? Fernando Mendoza's weapon on the outside. A Cam Coleman, a Jeremiah Smith, or they go with an edge talent like a Dylan Stewart or Colin Simmons, then we could absolutely see the Raiders compete. It's just, to me, maybe even a bigger threat to them is going to be just that division and how tough it is to win games there. That's what's really tough about that path for them to having success right now. Just exists in and simply who they face, right? The Broncos, the Raiders, and that consistent thread of really good quarterback play and some of the best coaching with the Chargers and obviously Sean Payton in the league right now. Seahawks going to be bad from Sean Parker. I mean, they're the Super Bowl champs. They did not retain everything. They lost Kenneth Walker, but still we are fired up about what is coming next year in that division with the Niners being really strong. Swell, you're wrong. It's the opposites. Where's that guy? Swole boy. He did a membership to get the Raiders into the playoffs category. He did a little bit of a bribe to get them up to playoffs category. I don't think he's still in the chat right now to be become a blitzer, to be one of our members. Sean Parker, though, make sure you're following my guy. Ray Fletch, I'm saying replace them with the Eagles. Could absolutely be. Mo City Drip, Ray, make sure that you guys are following Blake. Entire Niners team. I really hope that doesn't happen. I never wish injuries on absolutely anyone, but it's just simply very strange how much all that is happening. What did I do from Swell? No, it wasn't you. It was Swole. New sub here, Sean. Great to see you. There's a guy named Swole that is now one of the members, and he did a bribe to get the Raiders up one category, as we had a bribe to get the Broncos up into Super Bowl or bust, to let people know a couple of those. This is a decent list from LOS Knows Ball. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you for liking it. Jeffrey Law, I don't bet online against random, but I wait till the season progresses. Niners will be better than Broncos and play head to head. You will see. Yeah. We can absolutely see both of those teams have a great season next year. When face reveal? What does that even mean? Ice is cold. What are we talking about there? Sean Parker, thank you for following, my man. What do we got here? This year gonna be good. There's gonna be a lot of sneaky teams that might get in the playoffs. Yeah, that's what we're expecting from next season. That there's gonna be a ton of parity throughout the NFL. Dolphins and Falcons are the exact same teams. Amazing running backs, and that is it. Yeah, Kyle Pitts is also there too for Atlanta. Drake London. They've got more talent, but again, that talent is more expensive currently. Jeffrey, Broncos, great team. I'm just saying, Niners are elite. Even with a depleted roster last year, we balled out, just ran out of juice against Seattle. From Jeffrey. I love this list because the Broncos are in the top three. Griffin, I don't know if I've seen you in here. Have you? Have you been in my live before, Griffin? I don't know if I've seen you around before. Good to have you in here. Yeah. I must admit I had the Broncos highly rated at 3, but then there was a $10 bribe super chat to get the Broncos up into that Super Bowl or bust category, and that's part of why I was talking about why the Raiders are there right now. Eagles will keep the prophecy and win or make the Super Bowl. Blitz from Pip Squeak. Look, Philadelphia is always a threat every single year. Jeffrey and I on the same page. Exactly. Yeah. The Texans playoff lock is crazy. Are we not as high on their defense, or is it just C.J. Stroud? I want a Raiders Super Bowl, but let's be real. Bolts or Broncos are going to be taking the AFC West. Yeah, but look, I've been saying it. It's a winner. It's a win-win scenario for the Raiders. Look, we have success with Kirk, and Mendoza gets to learn on the bench, and let's say they get to the playoffs. Unbelievable. Mendoza comes in and has success. Great. If they struggle, don't have a good year, all right. The Raiders get a blue chipper. They add Leonard Moore. They add Jeremiah Smith, Cam Coleman, Dylan Stewart, Colin Simmons, Amari Washington. There's so many unbelievable players that if they're not in that middle tier and they're in that bottom 10 tier, because of all those quarterbacks teams are going to need, and you got your franchise quarterback, the Raiders can load up with a great player. Every other year we go to the NFC title game and win or make the Super Bowl, and then the next season we lose in the wild card. And then we go to the Super Bowl or again. So I donate $10. You'll put the Redskins. No, that was in that category because they were that close. The different tiers have different level of bribes. To get the Commanders into that category, oh man, I mean, we were talking about the Jets would be 25. That would be like 20 to get the Commanders into that category. Yeah. I had the Broncos already in playoff locks at number 3, so that wasn't quite as significant a jump. The main reasoning for that right now, Johnny Gunn, is just simply like it's the people that hop in here, like they look at a list and it's like, oh, is there credibility? What do we got, Blake? What do we got here? Like if people look at the list, like a lot of them are like, what is happening with that ranking? I don't know if I'm gonna watch. So we need it to be somewhat, worth our while here for people coming in to put it up there to the top. And right now, so far Denver has passed the smell test, but who knows? Washington potentially could, but that would take 20 to put the Commanders into Super Bowl or bust and update the graphic for this afternoon's and the rest of today's streams. We've got about 4 more hours of streaming to do the rest of the day. That answers your question there, my guy, Johnny Gunn? Not the commies, the Redskins. So an older graphic. I mean, putting. I know what you're saying. Honestly, the Redskins with John Riggins and Theismann, and man, they had some unbelievable teams with Joe Gibbs. I mean, if they were that name, they honestly probably should be in that category. The commies. No, David. Put 49ers in the playoff category. Again, that would also take somewhat of a bribe to get them down because they should absolutely be up where they currently are. Everybody on TikTok, let's see. This again, I think it's silly to have Raiders in playoffs. and not see it to believe it right now. And this again, I just got to admit, that was a bribe. We had someone subscribe to be a member on my YouTube, and that's why we currently have them in that category right now. This again, we had them in see it to believe it. Don't take the bribe. Ignorance can't be bought. From Jeffrey Dixon. I know what you mean, my man. No, I gotcha. This again. Yeah, it was $10 total, and then to get the Raiders up to playoffs? ? Playoffs? Can't even win a game. What do you think the Saints need to do to be solid contenders? The Saints need to protect Tyler Shuck, and they need Tyler Shuck to love the business marketing. Got to, without a doubt. Injuries happen, that's why you got depth. 49ers might miss playoffs with injuries. They absolutely could. But I got to see Tyler Shuck take that next step and get that football out quicker, improve as a processor of information. Look, you didn't start all last year in the beginning. You had Spencer Rattler in there. So I'm expecting Tyler Shuck to get the ball out to Tyson, one-on-ones. Got the best receiver in the draft, Jeffrey. You're absolutely right. I had Tyson at 1, Carnell Tate at 2. So they need Shuck to be protected and to, progress in a way that he doesn't turn the ball over. And Texans have the team, but it's all about Stroud and how he does. Chris, you're absolutely right. I got them going to the Super Bowl right now. What's going on, MJ? T-Edits, good to see you. Do you think all the receivers picked through the offseason was overboard? No, I don't, Doc C. I actually think that there were moves made that were right on line. Doc C, make sure you're following Joseph Trujillo Sr., make sure you're following Chris, make sure. Jets, you're going all the way, trust. I have a baseball game tonight. In the other games, we won. Let's go, Caleb. Out of the way. Thank you for the follow, Doc CC. Appreciate you. Thank you so much. What do we have? Yay, always. But let's see. What we could do, Johnny Gunn, is I could make a new graphic using the old Redskins logo, and then what I'll do is I'll refer to them as the Redskins throughout the entire rest of the day's streaming. That's what we'll do. If you wanted to actually get them in that category, we would actually make a whole new graphic, make a new logo, and we will only refer to them as the Redskins. That's what we'll do if that winds up coming down. But either way, appreciate you and the support from everybody. Ravens are in. I'm a diehard Chicago Bears fan. And Ohio State Buckeyes. Ravens are in playoff locks. Everyone has recency bias with Stroud. His 4 other previous playoff games, and he turned the ball over 1 time. Look, Mixie, we got them as a lock. I got them going to the Super Bowl. That is the best defense in football without a doubt. Zero hesitation. And I got Will Anderson Jr. winning Defensive Player of the Year. Everybody on YouTube right now, make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. MJT Edits. What do you got? Nick C. All you guys. Rattler got wheels in an arm, just not consistent exactly right. If you guys haven't subbed, please make sure to do so. Bears are in Super Bowl or bust. What are you talking about, bro? Josias Alvarez. I am a diehard Bears fan, my guy. Great to have you, Grayson. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate you. Eagles playoff locks? I could see it, Chris. Just a little bit concerned about the right side of the O-line in Lane Johnson. But I went on a red eye to fly out from LA to see that Bears-Rams game. That was an absolute blast. The time of my life. That was incredible. I don't know if you were there or if you heard about it just through the broadcast. We're doing good off topic. We are doing fantastic. We are fired up right now. Who was talking about the Bears? Oh, Alvarez. Yeah, we were fired up before that 4th and 4 to commit. They threw on Ice Baby. It was legendary. Carson Beck, the next Carson Palmer, Jordan. I mean, he could be in Arizona, and he's got more talent. You could argue at the running back position with Jeremiah Love now. I've got him as my comp to LaDainian Tomlinson. He's going to be incredible. Always great to see off-topic back. We'll probably see Jacob Cahill back in here then. But Jordan, make sure that you're following my guy. That's actually an interesting comp. Football is a sport you play with your feet. Yeah, it is true. That's what they do call football. I live in Minnesota. I'm a Saints fan, but still show my support for the Vikings. My girlfriend is from Minnesota. She is Bears Vikings fan. Glad to find a fellow Bears fan. That's exactly right, my man. And guys, if you haven't subbed, please make sure to do so. We are trying to get to 5,700 subscribers by tomorrow, and we are trying to get to 6,000. 6,000 in the next week and 5,000 on TikTok in the next week. I don't golf. I know I got the Travis Matthew hat and the Lululemon shirt, but I don't golf. I am a former tennis player though. But man, I gotta make sure the back is stretched out. Let's see. I'll follow you and give Cardinals a better winning percentage. Give Cardinals a better winning percentage. Shout out to me, Vinny, please. Monk. I do play pickleball, Sean Tuber. I do play a little bit of pickleball. Jordan, that schedule is brutal for Arizona. And honestly, we can believe in Beck. Look, I'm a diehard Ohio State fan, as I've talked about, so I love Marvin Harrison Jr. I still believe in Marv. He's actually on the same pace as his dad was the first couple of seasons in the NFL. Cardinals going 3-14 or 0-17. I've got them being somewhere like 5-12 next year. Top 3 picks in the draft. And if they shock us all and Beck plays well, then amazing. I'd be excited for Arizona. It's just that division is absolutely brutal. What do we got? Get Moss by Nico Collins. What's going on? Go Jets. Damon, make sure that you're not spamming my guy. Take it easy on the Go Jets. I got you. Go Jets. One of my best friends is a diehard Jets fan, and I've been telling him that they need to be bad next year so that they can get better quicker by getting a franchise quarterback in. How you doing? Good to see you, NLK. What's up? Could be better. Not gonna. No, my boy. Maybe next time. So you think Arizona should be higher? No worries, Jordan. You can do whatever you want to do. But I appreciate you being in here and supporting and watching, engaging with the chat. This is how I learned that we've got a Cardinals fan in Jordan that thinks they should be higher. Are you a Chicago sports fan? Just the Bears. I used to be a big Chicago Blackhawks fan, but that kind of all turned into just college football as a whole. All right, MJT Edits. See you later. How exactly are the Broncos fraught? They really aren't. What are we looking at, Nico Collins? Record of Montana, Smitty, Greg, Flex 1, Hampton, Flex 2, Odell. What are we saying there? I don't exactly know. Raiders as playoffs. Kirk isn't nearly as good. So it's playoffs. Playoffs? We can't even win a game. That's what it is. And Chris, that was a bribe. I got bribed to move the Raiders from gotta see it to believe it to playoffs. We got a member that subscribed to my Blitzer on YouTube as a member there, and also $10 as super chats that we moved them up one tier. And they could be a little bit better next year. Mac, I don't know exactly what that means, but good to see you in here, Mac. Don't be spamming though. Thank you for the follow, Chris, and the support. I appreciate you. All right, folks. Last 12 minutes. I said we were gonna do 2.5, and we sprinted right by that. But we are gonna shut this down with a total of 3 hours. We just have grinded this out, and it's flown by. 3 hours. It's been the exact same time as a football game that we've been standing here going over the rankings. And thank you for all the support on YouTube as well as TikTok. Mac, I'm sorry, my man, but I am going to mute you because I mean what I say and I say what I mean, and I can't have you spamming, my guy. So thank you for watching. If you next time want to come out and be let us spam you with everything, I would appreciate that. All right, actually, folks, we're gonna call the stream right now. I gotta take off right now, so thank you so much on YouTube. I gotta go and get stretched, get a workout in. So we're gonna call it right now in the chat. We will be back later, in about 3 hours from now. Gotta get a couple of shorts filmed. So thank you to everybody on YouTube. Thank you to everyone on TikTok. We are gonna hop off the stream right now. Thank you so much for all the support. If you haven't already done so, make sure to go and subscribe. It's exactly right, Jeffrey. We got to do it. Make sure to subscribe right now on YouTube if you haven't done so. Thank you so much for all the support. We are going to end the stream right now. Off topic, Mendoza is currently getting third rep in camp. We'll see how that progresses. I got confidence he'll improve there quicker. So thank you so much to everybody, and I will see all of you a little bit later. We'll be on back in a couple of hours. You got it, Jeffrey.